ladies and gents. How are we all? How are we all doing? It is Monday, and to be honest with you, it's an absolutely glorious day out there, where I think it's meant to hit something like 31, 32 degrees this afternoon for me, down here in Cardiff. So it's gonna be nice. And it's like, Tim, yes, we have a brand new song. I don't know what it is. I think it's regarding because it's like the summer. It's just so good to have it. Just, you know, the bop along to in the background as well. Cassandra on both. Yes. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I had a nice weekend. Didn't really do much. Did a little bit of tidying in here. Down there's all tidy. Up there's not. So I do need to get there this week. I actually have a list on my whiteboard, which I got to do on Friday, which there's no stream on Thursday. I'm pretty sure of that now, because say I do have a festival, well, a one-day mini festival in Cardiff to go to, where I will be seeing Slayer, which I cannot wait to see. Let me turn that down by there a minute, and let me just put the audio up by there. There we go. Yeah, so I'm seeing them on Thursday, which, yeah, I got to be in the centre of Cardiff at like 3:30. So there may be a stream, not too sure. But I say Friday, I got to do a bit of DIY. I got like new plug sockets to go in. I got new lights to go up, which I'll show you the lights actually now. I bought these lights, bloody hell, November time? Yeah, so I bought these November, and what they are, they're actually the rope lights. So it's a lot of stuff to go in and a lot of stuff to put on. But yeah, rope lights. So hopefully we can get them up and... Oh, just dropping everything out of the box. But they're them ones, there they are. The rope lights. So we're going to see on the back here if we can try and get them there. Not too sure yet. Come on, you bastard. There we go. Oh, I don't want this song. Back to the first one. The first one's great. But yeah, it's... I'm going to say, I'm going to put them up, see if they're going to be on the back here, because at this moment in time, I do love this camera angle. Absolutely love it. I do have a camera by there, but sadly, it is now old. How old is that? Bloody hell, 2014, 2015, I think? So we've got to try and do some... Yeah, let's see, the rope lights always look awesome. It's like there's one... bloody hell. Can't remember the guy's name now. Wheezy Blonde. That's who I follow, Wheezy Blonde, and she puts some amazing stuff up. And it's all with them, with the rope light. And it looks amazing. So, let's have a look. Rope lights. So I saw these and I was like, you know what, I would love to get them. And as you can see by here, there's so many ones you can do. You know, there's so many different things, different... So you can make so many great patterns, you know? So many patterns, and they all look good. Angel Wolf is over on Kick as well. Hello. Yeah, like I say, we got both going now. You know, I'm really happy that we got, obviously, YouTube and we got Kick going. But yeah, I saw these, and I was like, you know what? Let's try and get some of these light ropes going, because they just do. They look so cool. And there's so many different things you could do, so many different designs. And obviously you can have the normal LED strips, which you can go like to lights and music and everything else. These are exactly the same. But yeah, so we're going to get them done, and we'll see how they are. But yes, it's, you know, like I say, it's been nice. It's been a nice weekend, and say I got a few things to plan out, which I did. So we're really happy with that. What did you all do? Did you all have a great weekend? Was it a quiet one? Did you go out? Was the weather gorgeous where you are? Like I say, over the weekend as well, like I say, we got talking with Stevie, with Les, and with Soups. And we are hoping to get a little call together for us, because we haven't, like we said the other day, we haven't spoken with them, or like FaceTime or whatever, in a long time. So we're looking to get something going, and you never know, I may convince them to jump on a stream one day. That'd be nice if all of us can just get together and we're back on a stream together. I think that'd be absolutely amazing. Tony, hello. Angel, yeah, God, glad the weather was nice where you are. Yeah, the weather's been, like I say, here. It's meant, like I said, it's meant to hit like 30, 31 here down in Cardiff. I know in London it's meant to hit something stupid like 35 or something like that, which is going to be absolutely melting the roads. Because again, here in the UK, all our stuff is made to keep the heat in. Because again, you know, we never used to have these hot summers. But we've got a few things to look at today. There's one video, which is a very interesting one. Because this is when a serial killer vlogs during his spree. That I saw that and I was like, we gotta watch that together because that is going to be absolutely insane. A killer who was vlogging everything he was doing. I do have another one as well regarding online piracy. So I'm at the age, and you know, some of you probably are as well, where in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had LimeWire, you know, Napster and all that stuff. And obviously, a lot of stuff happened. You know, my favorite band, Metallica, took Napster to court because they were like, oh, that's money they're taking out of our pockets and all this kind of stuff. And especially when you learn that out of a $20 CD, the artists were only getting something like $5 each, which is insane. But then, obviously, you know, you have Pirate Bay and everything else, which I use. You know, I will say that I still use them. And I still, if I like something, I will go out and buy it. If I like it, I will buy it. But piracy seems to be making a comeback. And that is mostly because, well, you got Netflix, you got Disney Plus, Hulu, you got all these streaming sites. Where when they first started, it was like, what, $4.99? Something like that. And they even used to do offers, didn't they? Your first month would be like $1.99 or whatever. Now, Netflix is like $20 odd. Amazon is still like $12 or $15 if you get it without the ads. And Disney, obviously, if you want 4Ks extra, it's absolutely ridiculous. And people are now looking at it and going, oh, we actually got piracy, which is making a comeback. But I was looking through, say, that's the other video. I do have two articles as well. One is regarding movie theories and paranoid TV theories, which is nuts. Because I saw something on Instagram this morning where someone just put out there, oh, do any of you know about these? And it was one about Greece. Do you know this about Greece? That like Sandy is meant to be dead or whatever, or she's dying and stuff like that. A lot of the footy, yeah. And we'll say, Cassandra, with that, with Sky Sports, like I say, I didn't really used to do Sky Sports, and then they were like, oh, well, if we can give you Sky Sports for a year, just like for 18 months, because it's a contract, obviously, and it's something ridiculous. And I think they was like, oh, for the first year, it'll be like $12.99 a month for the first year and a bit. Oh, Liz, Angel Wolf is on Kick, hence why it's coming up on the this side by here. Like, this is YouTube, this is Kick. But yeah, there's so much stuff going on. Get my Kick chat up as well. Kick. Oh, you can hear me there again. Here we go. Right, yeah, it's yeah, we're a clown today. But yeah, there's so much going on, and like I say, the Sandy one is, which we'll get to that one. But as I was looking through the Daily Mail, I saw this about an hour ago, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? And it's regarding this. In Idaho, a sniper ambushed people. What the hell's going on with the world like, isn't it? So, a sniper's body was recovered after he deliberately started a brush fire to bring firefighters to a mountain before picking them off. Oh my god. Why? The unidentified ambush was found this near his gun on Kingfield Mountain outside of... Ain't even gonna pronounce that. Idaho Sunday evening. His cell phone signal was used to pinpoint his whereabouts, and law enforcement exchanged gunfire with the subject. Yeah, this is... I don't get this. I really don't. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so the fire was first reported around 1:20:01. 2 local firefighters, they were there and they were ambushed. You know, there has to be some kind of... Something obviously happened for this guy to start doing this, because this is just absolutely... It's evil. That's what this is. I'm going to start a fire, and whoever comes, if the firefighters come, I'm just going to pick them off. Why? What have these firefighters ever done to this person? They heard telling dispatch he had no idea where they were or what they were going in which direction. One person could be heard telling dispatch, I would recommend all of our units, all of our firing units, escape further down the pavement towards town, maybe at a half mile or so to a safe staging area. Wow. The rapid-fire event eventually prompted the evacuation of the Fernan Gun Club. Ooh! Of a gun club. And members were told that there was a sniper in the area. Jeez. Why, like, innit? Yeah, cowards way. Yeah, I don't understand that. I really, really don't. That is just absolutely sickening. There's no... Watch it come out as something will be about, oh, well, this happened to him, or one of these people did something to him. Nah, no chance. I'm not having that. This person here did the unthinkable, and it's just unforgettable. So it's now believed... Oh, I've got a van reflecting the sun in my face. He was the only one in the attack based on the trajectory and based on the type of weapons that this individual had that we could recover. The gunman was running as he fired as he announced there is no threat to the community at this time. Yet the suspect's motive for the shooting remains unclear. An investigation into the shooting will continue on Monday, when Norris said he expects to find more weapons that were left at the scene. Holy hell. And the start of fire as well, like, you know, in the bloody, the woods is absolutely You know, this is what goes on when you see all these things like, oh, these, you know, forest fires in California and everything else. And then you have this. I'm going to start it just so I can do this. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, I thought I'd just, you know, just have a little chat with you about that. Because I say, I see this and I'm just thinking to myself, why? What is this? What is these things done to this person? Why did they do it, you know? We'll guarantee we're probably not going to see anything, though. That's what I'm thinking there. We are not going to see anything pop up and say, oh, he did this because of this. It's more than likely like, oh, he'll probably start saying about some type of bloody, some kind of mental problem, you know, just to try and save his face, save his safe face for his family. That's what probably will happen. But it's sad. But there's a lot of things going on with, oh, bloody hell. No, 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 no. What are you doing? Come on. There we go. Right. Yes. Nice bit of music again. Bit more chilled. A little bit more chilled. There we go. But yeah, there's so many things going on with this. It does make you think, like, what's going on? But there's that by there. So, movie and TV fan theories that sound completely bonkers. So, obviously, like we were saying regarding... Brett, how's it going, bud? The one to say, one of the most famous is Grease. Obviously, and that Grease is... it's all in Sandy's mind. That's one. Where, Because obviously in the song, when they're singing Summer Lovin' and stuff, she's like, oh, he sings like, oh, I met her in the ocean a while. She nearly drowned or something like that. And that's where the theory actually comes from, which, as you can see by there, we got the first one. Here we go, Sandy and Danny. Ooh, right, so it starts off with a 35, the Big Bang Theory, folks. Big Bang Theory. So, Leonard used to date a North Korean spy who was after the DARPA jet fuel he was working on. That's the very first episode, yeah. That was the very first episode. I remember that one. Because it's like, oh yeah, she was taken back because she's a spy. And Leonard was just there, you know, like twiddling his thumbs, like, yeah. So Penny is an agent sent in to monitor his activities. Okay, so he won't leak government secrets again. This is why she can sustain her spacious apartment with a waitress's salary. We also never got to know her last name because she's using a code name all along. Ooh, okay. So, with that one, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's right, see? Because in sitcoms, obviously, all these people, they always have amazing apartments. They always do. And, oh yeah, like, well, I work on, again, you know, like a Friends. Monica should never be able to afford that. And even when they say, oh, he knows rent control with her grandma or whatever. And it's like, well, again, that's kind of committing a crime, you know? But then you look at Joey and Joey's apartment, which just the two differences straight away, like. Same with Big Bang, you know? But I will say, though, Penny's apartment is nice. It is a little bit smaller, which always seems to be the case in these sitcoms. But yeah, what do you think about that one? Do we think that she was a secret agent? I don't think so. I'm going to say no for that one. Oh, Shrek. You know what? I absolutely love Shrek. Love it. So, Donkey from Shrek may be one of the boys from Pleasure Island that was transformed into a jackass in Pinocchio. I haven't seen Pinocchio in ages. Kelby, hello! I think Chandler paid their rent even when Joey moved in. Yeah, I think it was, because obviously it was such a nice, spacious apartment for him. But say, I haven't seen Pinocchio now in decades. I really haven't. So, I may have to look this one up again. Most of the characters in Shrek are from fairy tales and nursery rhymes, yeah. Such as Three Little Pigs, Three Blind Mice, yeah. Pinocchio, yeah, we got all of these. He seems to have memories of being a human, remembers wedgies and swirlies. Despite the fact that other animals can talk, a talking donkey is treated like an anomaly. You know what? That's very true. Because he says something and they're like, oh my god, a talking donkey! Yes, okay, that could be one. That could be one. When Donkey and Puss in Boots switch bodies, Puss can't control his hee-haws, much like the boys from Pleasure Island. I'm not too sure. Brett, you've never seen Shrek? Ah. Shrek 2 is one of the best things ever. Angel, yeah, Angel Wolf as well, saying, you know, Penny was not a secret agent, Donkey maybe. What's that? It's all from nursery rhymes, isn't it? So, maybe. But like I said, I haven't seen Pinocchio in years, so I can't remember it. Now, this one, I've heard so many times. So many times. That the Joker from The Dark Knight, so Heath Ledger's version of the Joker specifically, is an ex-intelligence operative who specialized in interrogation. That could be true. And yeah, it's got right there. Talking to the mob, he says, I know the squealers when I see them. When Batman tries to interrogate him, he's in charge, giving tips like, never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. And then Batman hits his hand. He's like, see? And he's like, yeah, ooh. That one could be true. That one could be true. And he can figure important stuff out about anyone, like how Harvey Dent values fairness or Commissioner Gordon feels isolated. That lets him screw with them. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with that one. I'm gonna go with that one. Because even when they're doing the parade for the fake funeral for Commissioner Gordon at the time, he's there. He's amongst the police officers with the rifle, and he knows the sequence. Yeah. Oh, Cassandra, Once Upon a Time. So with that one, I got up to season 4, I think. When did season 4 or 5? I can't remember which one it was, but it's when Elsa came into it from Frozen. That's when I started watching that. Oh, Tony, you know what? I do like Three Men and the Baby. I do prefer the second one, Three Men and the Little Lady. I do like that one. But yeah, Tom Selleck, man. Steve Guttenberg, Ted Danson. Class. And I never remember her name, but the one who plays the mother. Because she's in Tim Allen's Last Man Standing, which I love that show. Because she's the mum in there. She's also the ex-junkie sister in the TV series The Ranch. Yeah. But yeah, I do like Three Men and the Baby and the Little Lady. Who else we got? Jurassic Park. Right. I haven't seen the first Jurassic Park in ages either, see? The kid who Alan Grant scares shitless in Jurassic Park grows up to be Owen Grady. In the first movie, Dr. Grant demonstrates on a bratty child how velociraptors kill their prey before telling him to show a little respect. Nancy Travis! Kelby, thank you. Yes, Nancy Travis. I love Nancy Travis. Love Nancy Travis. I had a crush on her when I was a kid. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I think obviously coming, actually being a Brit, her accent really cracks me up in those films. It's very posh. It's, oh, Peter. It's like, yeah, nah. So, Jurassic World then takes place 22 later, and Grady has a relationship based on mutual respect with the dinosaurs. That could be true. That could very well be true. It would only make sense for the kid who was called Volunteer Boy in the end credits to become a raptor trainer. Yes. So we got that one there. Never seen The Good Place, so I have no idea what The Good Place is. Any of you guys watch The Good Place? That's it. Yes, the auntie in Harry Potter, yeah. The Good Place is actually Michael's personal bad place. Yeah, I've never seen that. Yeah, Nancy Travis is American, yeah. I do love it when Americans try and do British accents. It's very prim and proper. It's so funny. So The Good Place, from the midpoint of season 2 and on, Michael has been in constant state of anxiety, always worrying that he's about to be erased from the universe. That's the exact variety of torture that he had arranged for the humans when he was creating a bad place to torture them for him forever. Oh, he's God then, is he? Is he God? Like I say, I've never seen The Good Place. Yeah, I'd say Joker, definite possibility with that one. So what is The Good Place? Have a look. Narrative premise of the series follows Eleanor Shellstrop, a dead woman who's placed in The Good Place, a heaven-esque utopia designed and supervised by Art-to-Life architect. Right. Oh, so it's kind of like in between. Right, got it. Okay. Okay. Oh, I used to love Cheers growing up. Growing up, when, obviously, because I was in 1986, and my mum and dad would be watching it. If I was off from school, Channel 4 would have an episode on in the mornings or something. It was great. Right, here we go. This is the one about Greece. This one by here has been going on so many places, and it's been going on since the film was actually released. So, Sandy never made it past this scene on the beach because she died. Danny never saved her from drowning at the beach, and the whole movie is a dream she has while she is dying. This explains the ending where she flies away in the car. The flight represents her soul going to heaven. If that is true, that's a very, very morbid story if you think about it. And especially how it became such this huge, huge pop culture phenomenon. But yeah, so that's what Grease is meant to be. Because if you think about it, throughout the entire film, oh, she's a good girl. They start singing. We met this girl and all that. And then at the end, the car, out of nowhere, the car flies off into the sky, into the clouds. It's like, out of all of this happens now, But obviously that's, and obviously her looking back was meant to represent her looking at her friends and like, okay, bye guys. That's what it's supposedly being, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. But yeah, because what was it? Because obviously he sings like, oh, she nearly drowned. I saved her on the beach. Obviously the summer loving and everything else. I haven't seen Grease 2. All I know about Grease 2 is that it stars Michelle Pfeiffer. That's all I know. That's all I know. Right, number 29, Groot. Although Groot is among the heroes who are disintegrated by Thanos at the end of Infinity War, fans believe that he is not quite dead yet. The handle of Thor's Stormbreaker axe is made of Groot's arm. That's true. And is not shown to be disintegrating after Thanos has snapped his fingers. He can be regrown from the Stormbreaker. Yeah. You even see that to when in Endgame, when he puts his hand out and the Stormbreaker comes past Captain Marvel. Yeah, that could be one. Now, this next one, I can tell you what this is about. Because again, I've seen this one so many times. And it's about friends. And why does Ben disappear from the show? And it's about that Carol and... bloody hell. Carol and Susan, they never wanted Ross to be part of Ben's life. After too many of his antics, they filed for full custody and won. That one there could be true. Because if you think about it, during the series, Ben is a very integral part up until, what is it, season 7, season 8? And then you literally do not see him. When does Ben disappear, friends? So season 8, episode 12. The one where Joey dates Rachel. He is not seen again in the rest of season 8, season 9, or season 10. Is what we got by here. So that's what it is. And there's no explanation given for his absence. So obviously they're like, you know what? Like, Ross, you've done a bit too many stupid things, mate. We're going to get full custody and that's it. Well, Kel, it could have been, but the thing is, though, we have seen Ross do a lot of stupid things in Friends. And to be honest with you, there's some of the best episodes. When he puts the leather pants, when he does his teeth with the glow in the dark. Oh, my God. No, Cassandra, he's not even there. It's, say literally, episode 12, series 8 is when he disappears. But there's so many things, again, I love Friends. I absolutely love it. But what else we got by here? Casino Royale. In the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, Bond is so promiscuous because he's infertile. What? While on his first ever mission in Casino Royale, the best Bond film, by the way, people. Oh, pivot! Pivot! Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's when he at the end, he goes, I would like to return this couch. Sir, it's sawn in half. Store credit will be fine. I love it. Oh, Heartbeat. My dad watches Heartbeat now. Still, it's on ITV 2 or 3 now. So, Bond gets tortured by the villain Le Chiffre, who does imperishable damage to the spy's double O's. You know what? This one, I'm going to say no, because Bond is promiscuous in every single movie. And obviously, the Daniel Craig ones are meant to be the start of his career. But it's a little bit different. I really do think so. Because even though this happened, you can't really go back and be like, oh no, this is the start. This is the very first one. Nah, I don't buy that one. I really don't know. What we got? The Weasley. Ooh. Alright, Harry Potter folks. Harry Potter folks. The reason why the Weasleys always get sorted to Gryffindor House is because they're direct descendants of Godric Gryffindor himself. That one could be very, very true. Oh, Cal, but no, you know what? The Pierce Brosnan ones, GoldenEye is amazing. Absolutely love GoldenEye. To be honest with you, I also love Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough. Die Another Day is just abysmal. But for me, I do think Daniel Craig is the best Bond for me. I think that's because I do like that kind of seriousness. And remember, around that time that film came out is when the Bourne movies came out. But if someone said you can either watch Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, or the Bourne Ultimatum, or the Bourne Supremacy, I'm choosing Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne all the way. Absolutely love the Bourne Supremacy, the second one in Russia. So good. Some mothers do have them. Oh, you know what? My grandfather used to watch that again. So many great shows. This day and age. So, what at this moment in time now, like I say, a lot of you know, obviously, because of my condition with my back and everything else, I had to get my mum and dad to come in and live with me. And with that, like I say, most nights now, when we have dinner or whatever, afterwards, we always watch a sitcom from front to back. For, you know, literally one series of sitcom, then we go into another. And we're currently watching Boy Meets World, all right? And that show when I was growing up was it. It still is. It's still the funniest sitcom I have ever watched regarding kids. And just watching it, and I was thinking, because obviously I can say my niece Nia, she's 14 now, and I was watching Boy Meets World, and there's no sitcoms anymore like that. Hell, there's hardly any sitcoms anymore, you know, and it's sad because here in the UK, and in America actually, you know, sitcoms were the big thing, you know, obviously Friends, Two and a Half Men, The Big Bang Theory, Boy Meets World, all of these, you know, and all of these sitcoms, it's kind of funny, but they used to teach people things, even though they would, you know, do stupid things and be absolutely hilarious. A lot of the times, they taught people about, you know, being nice, being good, don't do bad things, don't do this, and they were always great. Now, there is nothing. And my mum said, she went, why isn't Nia watching anything like this? And we were like, because they don't have anything like it anymore. They just don't. You know, like Saved by the Bell when I was a kid, you know, in the early 90s, you know, Saved by the Bell, California Dreams, all of those, Hang Time, so many things. Cassandra, that is absolutely spot on. A lot of it now is just the same thing, over and over again. Something does well, right, we'll copy it. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, Angel Wolf, yeah, you know, there's so many things going on. And, like I say, Cal, talking about American things going over. So, obviously, in the UK, and I think most of the world, Gavin and Stacey. Huge. And in America, I think it was called You and I, was it? Alex Mack, oh my days on Nickelodeon! Yes! You know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, there's so many things. Gavin and Stacey, USA. Was it You and I? Oh, Us and Them, it was called. And it lasted for like, I think it was like one season because it literally did not go well. Oh, a show called Adventures of the Bush. You know what? There was so many things growing up. When we were growing up, that was just absolutely amazing. You know, there's so many great things. But yeah, so Us and Them, Gavin and Stacey in America, and to be honest with you, yeah, no. It did not go well at all. There's no one, yeah, there's hardly anyone in it that was great. Growing up, Channel 4 was the king of, like, weekend kids TV. I will always remember, like, say, there's so many things growing up. What was there? Like, say, because as a kid on a Saturday, I always remember I used to wake up about 6:30. I'll always remember that because on Channel 4, I would watch Pole Position, which is a cartoon that came out in the 80s. Then I would turn over to, I think it was like BBC One, just before like Live and Kicking or something like that started, where it'd be the New Adventures of Superman. Then it'd be What's Up Doc with Ant and Dec on ITV. Beavis and Butthead, yeah. South Park, King of the Hill. Kel. You had me at Bottom. Bottom is my favourite #1 sitcom of all time. I absolutely love it, and this is how much I know every episode word for word. That's how much I used to watch it. Do your balls hang low? Can you swing them 2 and 4? Can you tie them in a nut? Can you tie them in a bow? Do we get the funny feeling when they're hanging from the ceiling? Oh, you'd never be a sailor if your balls hang low. Yes. Heave ho. Burglary. That's my favourite episode as well. It's... oh my god. Cal, now you're bringing all my bottom in out of it. Literally, it's when... I'm going to turn the music off. And when he's... they got the burglar, who was Nigel in EastEnders, by the way. And he's tied up. He's like, Eddie, interrogate him. Show the mother. What, does his mother turned up? No. Get it. Interrogate him. Right. And he just goes over to him. Chair. Can't get his leg over the chair because, you know, he's got his trousers on. He sits down and he's just like, so, did you see Emmerdale Farm last night? Every single time, I just love it. I crack up. Because Emmerdale Farm, I don't know why, it was just so on the button. Cal, well, so with Mr. Bean, I'm going to show you something now. This is how popular Mr. Bean has become, okay? Mr. Bean has become so popular, you can even buy Mr. Bean action figures. You can buy Mr. Bean action figures, which is insane. But yeah, I think, you know, with Mr. Bean, there's only like one series, wasn't there? Oh, what do you Vivian? Oh, I used to love Neil in The Young Ones. But yeah, as you can see, Mr. Bean, he's got so many figures about... It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely incredible. That this character, who doesn't even speak, well, he does, but not much, obviously. And you can buy action figures of him. I absolutely love Mr. Bean. Oh, you know, the film, you know, he's got the gun in the airport. Oh, so good. So good. But yeah, there's so many things going on with, so like I say, growing up, it was the best. It was just absolutely incredible. It was the best ever. It was so good. It's so many things came about, and just seeing at this day and age, kids don't have that. It's sad. It's upsetting. Because it's going back to what we were talking about regarding... it was meant to be going in and... on TikTok and all this kind of stuff, where today's generations, you know, the younger ones, whatever, alpha, whatever they want to call them, their attention spans are so low. Because they need to be stimulated like this. Because they've grown up on, well, on shit. And, you know... You got to keep them occupied. They got and all this kind of stuff, which is sad because, like we said, you know, growing up, like say, 1986, I was born, but I was brought up on stuff that my mum and my dad loved, my grandfathers loved. Like, you know, I used to watch things with them, and that's where most of my sense of humor has come from. You know, again, Bottom, The Young Ones, you know, Guest House Paradiso. If you want to do the film with Simon Pegg in, a very young Simon Pegg. Cal. Yeah, say Rick Mail. Well, he played Peeves in like a couple of scenes, didn't he? But they are on like the DVD as deleted scenes and stuff. But yeah, you know, Drop Dead Fred. You know, there's so many things growing up. The sitcoms were just amazing in the 80s and 90s, Married with Children and all this kind of stuff. And it's just sad to see that this day and age, there's hardly anything here, which sucks, you know? All they got is, oh, I'm on TikTok. Oh, I'm going to go up and I'm going to prank someone by pretending to rob him. How is that funny? You know? I keep seeing as well the meme, which this is true. You see people who are, the generation who was brought up on Family Guy and South Park get offended by everything. That's one thing I don't understand, which is kind of true. Greg, Children's Hospital, Zig and Zag, yeah, Zap Grange Hill. Oh my God, Till Death To Us Part. Yeah. Say, Biker Grove, Anton Deck. Biker Grove also starred Charlie Hunnam, Jax from Sons of Anarchy. Again, there's so many things going on. It was absolutely incredible. There's so much. And when you say, God, but now on another one regarding, the theories, The Lion King, absolutely amazing. Growing up, all of these kind of stuff, it's absolutely, it does bring back memories. It does, guys, doesn't it? SWAT Cats, Tim. Oh my God, yes. I was on BBC One. I used to love SWAT Cats. Yeah, there's so many things now going on that a lot of the stuff that kids watch, it's just slop, which is sad. So, Lion King and all that. So, The Lion King, Disney's Robin Hood. I love that, Robin Hood. I love the Disney one with the fox. And Zootopia are all set in the same world, with the lions maintaining peace. Well, to be honest with you, this is not that far-fetched, because everything at Disney is meant to be set in the same universe anyway. That's why so many things cross over. Astrid, hey! Oh, Greg, Biker Mice from Mars, yes! Oh, F1, it is good, is it? Yeah, like I say, I do need to see it, and just the way it looks, the way the trailers look amazing. They do look so good. Yeah. But yeah, Disney, I always think that Disney is like this anyway. Oh my God, Funhouse. Oh, Funhouse, the prize is to be won. Yeah, I remember that. Oh my God. It's literally just a day of reminiscing, this seems to be now. Sex and the City. I only ever watched one episode, so I don't really know much about the series, but Samantha, Charlotte, and Miranda from Sex and the City 2 archetypical to be real. Sarah Jessica Parker thinks that Carrie made them up to be characters in her column. Okay. Another Harry Potter one? How does Neville Longbottom go from zero to hero? He gets a new wand. Yeah, a wand must choose its owner, not the other way around. At first, Neville has trouble because he uses his dad's wand. When during the battle in the Department of Mysteries, the wand breaks and a new wand chooses him and he becomes a badass wizard. Yeah. Tony, right, have a look which one. So I gotta go. So, what was that one then, Tone? Let's have a little look-see. This is the one, yeah? 8 series, okay. Oh, controversial and criticized, okay. Carl, economist and accountant, after he is fired from his job and is subsequently divorced by his greedy wife, being helped out by his former colleagues, Nils and a traveling salesman, Henry, the three become roommates. First 3 series usually focus on a single episode, like most sitcoms. Plans to get rich. You know what? Straight away, that does sound funny. Because that does sound a little bit, when you get these, like, plots to get rich, they always end up being funny. Always. A large number of celebrity guests appearing, often closely related to the schemes attempted by him. The 4th series, okay. Japan Anderson, the main cast, his girlfriend has introduced a new recurring character. As Sensei finished airing, it's announced that 13 episode 8 series will be the last, and the final episodes, Carl has finally experienced some success with his company. It does seem to be, Peter Pan the Pirates. Oof. Brum, yeah, Brum, Baba, TV Tots, there was so many things, so many, it was ridiculous. Well, I'll save this, because I say I do like sitcoms. I do like sitcoms, so we'll have that one by there, keep that up by there. Yeah, see, sitcoms, man, there's nothing around anymore, really, is it? It's sad. It's one of the things that I do think that shaped a lot of people around our age. I really do think so. Because, again, they were everything, they were popular, they were funny, and the humor is almost like every millennial and Generation X. That's what it seems to be. The Flintstones. The Jetsons and the Flintstones live in the same future. A future divided by income class. Nah. Completely different. This one I've seen quite a lot. Stan Lee plays the same character in every Marvel movie. He is Uatu, the Watcher in human form. That could be true, you know? That could be it. Oh, Live and Kicking. Going live, CD UK. Oh. Like I say, Greg, so for me, what I used to do, like I say, it was Saturday mornings. In the morning, like I say, it'd be Channel 4, Pole Position and all that. Then it'd go on to BBC One, New Adventures of Superman. Then Live and Kicking would come on like 9:15. Then it would be What's Up Doc on ITV with Ant and Dec. That's when I started watching the Batman animated series, which is the best iteration of Batman. CD UK then, or the chart show or whatever it's called after that, 11:30. Then Movies, Games and Videos, 12:30 on ITV. And I used to be watching these. It'd be like my mum and my dad's mum and dad with Batman and all that. And then lunchtime, I would go to my gramps in Cardiff. It'd be amazing. The Hypnotoad evolved from the bullfrog, that Bart Simpson smuggled into Australia. All glory to the Hypnotod. Yeah, there was so many things going on. Count Duckula. Oh, David Jason again. We're talking about sitcoms, and we missed the greatest one ever out. Only Fools and Horses. So, Aladdin. The events of Aladdin never actually happened. The merchant made up the entire story just to sell a lamp. You know what? That could actually be true. I would actually think that could be it. Another Bond one. Different faces, the same man. James Bond, like Doctor Who, is a Time Lord. No, sorry, rubbish. Ah, the Mighty Ducks. Wow. Back to the Future. Doc hadn't tested the DeLorean and was shocked when it worked. Driving it directly at himself indicates only one thing. Doc wanted to die. You never know with that one. You never know. House is an adult Doogie Howser. That one I could see. That one I can see. But again, here in the UK, Doogie Howser wasn't really around that much. You know, you would have to literally have like the Disney Channel or something to see it. Or Nickelodeon. I remember them. But I do like House. I haven't seen a lot of episodes, but the ones I've seen I've really enjoyed. What else we got? Thank you. Super Mario. Ah, Joshua Jackson, eh? Joshua Jackson. So, thank you, Mario, but your red clothes, style and mustache, and working class background means that you're a communist. Yeah, that's just nothing. Gilligan's Island. Now, with this, I can say I've seen like one episode, and I have no idea what it's about. And that is more than likely because of my mum and dad, and they would have it on in the background now and again when I was growing up. Again, we are forgetting it. I'm going to bring something up now because I think this is one thing that we've missed. I gotta go and guess something. I'm still here, folks. Don't you worry. I just gotta get some in. How can we talk about sitcoms and some of the greatest ones ever and not bring up this guy? Alf. Oh, you know? Alf, baby. Alf. I absolutely loved Alf. I still do, man. I got all the series on DVD. I bought them from America. I even got a DVD player specifically which played American DVDs just for Alf. I absolutely loved Alf. I still do. There's, again, see, there's so many great things that you don't see it now, you know, like all of these and... Oh, Alf is just so good. The Alf house phone. Oh my god, it was so good. Alf was just, he was just so funny. And again, a lot of the humor is like what my humor is based on. Yeah, season 1, season 2, season, it's a complete series. I haven't got that. I got them all separately though. Like these ones. Season 1, yeah. Season 2. Man, I loved Alf. Absolutely loved it. And it was only on for 4 seasons, which is nuts. Because when you look at Alf and just how much went into it, and obviously the puppeteering, and then it was the costumes they would wear. I would love to show you a part from my favorite ever episode. But sadly we can't because it would get copyright. And what that one is when Alf is home alone and the episode starts off like Tom Cruise in Risky Business singing. And with that was the first time I ever heard Old Time Rock and Roll. And I was like, oh my god, I love this song. And I still got it. It's on my phone. I got the CDs over there. Again, Alf shaped me. Alf, Bottom, Fools and Horses... and to a certain degree, Dad's Army. They're the ones that molded my sense of humor. But Alf, man, I can't... Alf, baby! Yeah, there's like so many things regarding Alf of what you can actually buy with him. Like say, with, like obviously I collect a lot of the NECA stuff. And Alf, you know, they got them all. They got so many different ones, NECA has, you know. So you got that one here, which is the one I got at the moment. I got this one, which is a 1980s one. I got that one on order. I got that one on order, where he's playing the guitar. And he's done 2 San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which one is there with his cape on and everything else. And then there's this one, when he's got... get that out there. He's got a camcorder, he's got a mobile phone, the camera. So cool. So cool all of these are. Man, Alf. That's one show I would love to come back. One show I would love. So now going back to these ones, I see some of these and I do think to myself, when you see the Simpson ones, it can be a bit of hit or miss, I think. I think that is the problem. Because obviously we have seen the ones where, you know, the Simpsons have predicted the future. Which, you know what? We'll have a look at that after we've looked at these. So the Simpsons, Simpson predictions. We'll have a look at them afterwards. But yeah, so you got these by here, and this one says that the town of Springfield is located in a stagnant universe. Its inhabitants relive the same year repeatedly while the world changes around them. Could be that's why, you know, Bart is still 10 years old. And he's been 10 years old for what now? 30 odd years? 36, 37 years? Yeah, I don't believe this one either. Alfred is at once too faithful, too protective, and too condescending for a simple butler, but not for being his real father. No, he's not his real father. We know this. We know this. He is not Batman's father. He was, again, he had to be a father figure, because obviously he was only 10 years old when his parents died. So, SpongeBob, he lives in Bikini Bottom. His neighbours are Sandy Cheeks and a Starfish. SpongeBob SquarePants is a tampon. Wow. That gives a whole new meaning to the show right by there, folks. Doesn't it? A little bit too much there. Jeez. Oh, Cassandra, yeah, she's... Nancy Cartwright, she is so good. Well, she does Nelson. She does Todd Flanders. I think she does Ralph. So many she does. And I think she's so funny. She is so good. Groundhog Day. Ned Ryerson trapped Phil Connors on Groundhog Day because Phil refused to purchase Ned's insurance. Phil escaped the time loop after he bought insurance. Oh! Could work. That could work. Just turn the music up a little bit for you. Is that okay for the music? Like I say, got a few things by ear now. We'll see how this goes. Right. I don't want the music to be too loud for you guys, that's all, you know. Like I say, because in my one, it's quite loud. Oh, yeah, let's say... It's when you look at a lot of voice actors for a lot of male roles, a lot of women do them. And they are just absolutely amazing. They really are. Number 9, Eraserhead. So before we look at that, has anyone seen this film? It's a very bleak movie, I will say that. Is it David Cronenberg? Did Cronenberg do this one? David Lynch. David Lynch did this one. It is a very weird one. It's, like I say, don't get me wrong. If, you know, like dark and those kind of films are yours, this... It does get a little bit hasty at the end, I will say that. But, so Eraserhead is... Henry Spencer's final dying dream in the electric chair as he's executed for doing this, his unplanned, disfigured newborn child. Yeah. As you can see by this, straight away, it's just like, whoa. Hence all the disturbing imagery related to the electricity and Henry's electric shock hairdo. Yeah. It is. It's a nuts movie. It really is. And, like, here we go. As you can see by there, that's the child. That's what's going on with it. Like, look at that. I'll just take off chat. Look how messed up that is. Yeah, it's one of those type of films, like, you know. But that could be true. That could be it. Castaway. You know what? When I first saw Castaway, I was a little... I was sad. I will say that. It did upset me a little bit. Because, literally, at the end, when he goes and sees his wife, oh, I thought you were dead. That really upset me. Because it's like, didn't anyone go looking? You know, didn't anyone go looking for him? And never did. You know, 4 years, nobody found him. They weren't meant to. But they're saying that he was unknowingly the subject of a TV show like The Truman Show. And... why there's a random shot from the POV of a hidden camera. Yeah. Absolutely nuts. But Kel, yes, it's, like I say, The Simpsons, I think it's 36, 37 now? So, I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The one thing that pisses me off, though, is that wherever you try and find this streaming... they've gotten rid of all the Lethal Weapon movies. The parodies they do because of, obviously, they're doing blackface in it. It's like, come on. comedy is subjective. And they do it, and in the show, they tell people why it's bad. They get told, it's like, what you do? Like, oh yeah, we know it's bad, but I mean, we gotta be in character. And all that kind of stuff. You know? But what if Mac, Dee, and Dennis don't actually look the way we see them? Okay. Mac looks strong, but is often shown to be weak. Yes, true. Dee and Dennis look attractive, but they somehow only manage to date weirdos. Yeah. They are unreliable narrators presenting us with an idolized version of themselves. That could very well be true. And with with Charlie and Danny DeVito Frank, they could be the because they are literally like the down and out version of themselves. Nah, I can go with that one. Ooh, Titanic. So Jack Dawson is a time traveler, okay? His mission is to preserve the timeline by stopping Rose from committing jumping off. If she jumped, the crew would stop the ship to search for her, delaying the ship. That would make them miss the iceberg. After the ship sinks, he tells her how she'll die, old and in bed, which seems to happen at the end of the movie. Okay. Okay, change that over. That could be true. That could, but it's a little bit far-fetched because, again, it's just telling a story of the film, you know, of the ship. You know, it's, again, saying, oh, you're going to die old and in bed. That's how a lot of people actually think of how they want to go anyway. I know that's how I want to go, you know? So I don't believe that one. I don't believe it. Star Wars. Qui-Gon was an undercover Sith Lord. No. No. I'm just going to say no straight away for that one. Trying to destroy the Jedi Order from within. He freed Anakin through manipulation, but didn't take his mum along. He insisted on training the kid, despite the Jedi Council forbidding it. And he lost very quickly against Darth Maul. What if he did it on purpose, so the Jedi would train Anakin to honor his sacrifice? Ooh. Well, Kel, with that, they actually proved the theory wrong. That they actually had the same size door and what the door would have been made from. And if I remember, it was on Adam Savage. So yeah, so on Mythbusters. So Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman, they tested whether Jack could have survived. They initially found that the door couldn't support them both. That's because obviously she was wearing the life vest. But after adjusting the life vest, they determined both could have survived with their upper bodies out of the water. But this is where James Cameron he's just a god in my eyes for all his films. He argued that even if they survived the initial cold, they would die because of hypothermia, which is very, very true. Because obviously, when she sees the people, you know, they actually looking, just look how much ice is on her face. And obviously, if she was in the water as well, even if the top half of their body was out, they would still freeze to death. There's a, you know, I love seeing Mythbusters when they do these sort of things. It's absolutely hysterical. It really is. Because, again, theories. This is what I love about theories. And I love conspiracy theories as well, because sometimes I read them and I'm like, really? Like, are you sure about that? You know? But yeah, this one here with Star Wars, nah, this is just rubbish. Star Wars is wrong. Oh, WALL-E. Loved WALL-E. WALL-E is Satan, okay? It gives a seedling apple to a female robot, Eve, which starts a chain reaction leading to humans losing the carefree and comfortable life in the mothership. Hey, Di, how's it going? Oh, God, yeah, Kel. Well, say, they had ice all over her face, didn't she, when she's trying to blow in the whistle because she couldn't do it. But yeah, I'd say this WALL-E one, I don't think so. Not for me, that one there. I do love WALL-E. I do love the film. Exactly, Cal. He is a good robot. He's like, no, we're just doing this. And, you know, he was a trash compactor robot. That's what he is. But yeah, I do love the film. It's sad as well. You know what? Pixar, they do so many great movies. Sometimes they do miss, I will say that. But the majority of their movies are absolutely amazing. Yeah, Johnny 5, yeah. Johnny 5 is alive. Oh, love Short Circuit. Right, what other music we got here? Let's have a look. It's not bad, not bad. Got two more after this, and we go back to the beginning. Yeah, it's Big Hero 6. Yeah, there's so many going on. It was nice to see a lot of stuff, you know. But Freddy Krueger, okay. Freddy absorbs the dream superpowers of his victims. This is why, as Freddy gains more kills, he gains more abilities, strength, fighting, crawling on walls, and his power to manipulate the dream realm seems to grow from movie to movie. So, they're doing this now, and all of this is the third film, Dream Warriors, which is the best one in the series. I absolutely love that one. But he's saying here about, as he gains more abilities. So, in the very first movie, he's crawling on the wall with the girl. When she dies in the bed, because he drags her all across the ceiling and all that, and the boyfriend's in the corner like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, this. You know, it could work in the future, but I don't think that's it. King of the Hill. Oh, King of the Hill, folks. King of the Hill. Dale Gribble has always known that Nancy was cheating on him with John Redcorn. He just doesn't care. So, Dale has an easy life. Nancy pays most of the bills, leaving him to screw around with the gun club and run his failing exterminating business carefree. Dale gets his revenge by flaunting his relationship with his son, Joseph, in front of Redcorn, often knowing that Redcorn will always just be a weird stranger to his son. No, see, obviously, what you got is, because I say he got sucked to the bed, didn't he? Johnny Depp did in the first film. Nancy, she pulled him out of the dream, and she rigged her home like Home Alone. The boyfriend, he got killed in the prison. And there was the girl who got dragged over the ceiling and dropped on the bed. Which is absolutely insane, because when he drags her up, drops her on the bed, and when she just blood from the bed splashes, they had to cut that because they said it was too graphic. And I'm like, you have seen how Johnny Depp dies, yeah? He gets sucked through a bed in the water fountain of blood. It's still a great film. Ooh, number 1 is Harry Potter, folks. Harry Potter. So, Harry Potter is immortal. Either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives. The prophecy means that Harry and Voldemort can only die at the hand of the other. Harry becomes immortal when he killed the only person that could kill him. I'm not mad at that, you know, because that could be true. It was the first Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, hello, yeah. Yeah, that's in number 6. Yeah. When he was meant to be dead. Weird, I got it by here, actually. I have it by here, the box set. I have it by here. I will say that I do love the series. It is absolutely awesome. But yeah, so obviously it was the first film when he was in. I know that they tried getting him back for the third one, because that's when Wes Craven started writing again. They were like, oh, we want you back for the third one, because the second one, even though it did well, no good. He's not in Friday the 13th. In Friday the 13th, Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon is the one who gets sucked with the arrow through the neck while he's on the bed. But yeah, because Wes Craven, they came to him and they were like, oh, we want you to come back. Because even though the second one did well money-wise, they realized that he kind of messed up in the second one. Because like I say, because I remember these, again. The first horror film I ever watched was the very first one. And that was because of my sister, the bitch. I was like 8 or 9 and my sister was like, oh, watch this. Saw it and it freaked me out. But yeah, like I say, in the second one, obviously now they're trying to get Freddy, you know, because of the guy, the main dude, can't remember his name in it. But the way they did it, he comes alive and he's out in the real world at the barbecue party, and it's like, what are you doing? Freddy Krueger's not meant to be in the real world. It's meant to be in the dreams. I think that's why it worked so well in the first one, because it was like, you know, she dragged him out. But in the second one, he's like, oh my god, look at this. We're out. But then it just kind of went, you know. Number 3 was great, because obviously they brought back Nancy and the father. Then you had the fourth one was cool, because the fourth one was more, it was more out there. And that's when it started getting a little bit more punny for Freddy Krueger. Poltergeist, oh. Poltergeist is cool. I do, yo. They're here. That poor girl, yeah, supposedly she was cursed, supposedly, wasn't she? Yeah, Heather O'Rourke. Yeah, because she died at the age of 12, didn't she? Where was it? Yeah, she became ill with this time she was filming Poltergeist 3. She began exhibiting flu-like symptoms the following morning. Yeah, going through it all. But yeah, like I say, with the first one, you know what I love? Is when they go on saying that movies are cursed. I love that shit. And, oh, I watched The Exorcist 3 last night. Another phenomenal film which doesn't get a lot of praise. That is so good. Yeah, The Exorcist. Yeah, they said that The Exorcist was cursed. There's so many going on. It's absolutely nuts. Like, have they got it by here? Creative credit. Special effects, music, illusions. Then, yes. Oh. Then you had it by here, because it received an R rating, and then it went down to a PG rating on appeal. When I saw this, because when I first saw the Poltergeist, I was like, oh my god. Just because of the bathroom scene. And it's literally a PG, the same rating as Home Alone. Cal, yeah. The girl who played the sister, the older sister, yeah. Where is it? There. Yeah. John Sweeney, her ex-boyfriend, during an argument on the drive home, fell into a coma and passed away 5 days later. Absolutely nuts when you think of like that some movie sets were cursed. Because I know that, yes, so obviously with The Exorcist, The Omen, that to me, The Crow wasn't cursed. It's just sadly, obviously, for some unknown reason, the armourer never cleaned the prop weapon properly. And there was still a bit of a projectile in the barrel. They just never cleaned it properly, and that's what killed Brandon Lee. You know what? Yeah, the Conjuring films, yeah. They say that that with the first one, they always have priests come on set. All Dogs Go to Heaven, yeah. Oh, that film is so sad. You know what? With that part in All Dogs Go to Heaven, when again, you know, they're talking, you know, and Burt Reynolds is there and he's talking about, oh, we all go to heaven. And it hits me so hard, and it's like it's upsetting, I think, because even though he's like, oh, you know, we're here, you know, we're doing good. We're on our way to heaven. We're going to do this. And every single time, it gets me right in the feels, man. And, but yeah, see, obviously with All Dogs Go to Heaven as well, because I read something with Burt Reynolds when he was talking about, because he had to, like, do a scene after they found out that the little girl voice actor was gone. And when I read a story about that, I was like, oh my god. It is so upsetting. Yeah, the goodbye scene. Yeah, here we go. So the animated film, the final goodbye scene featured Burt Reynolds as Charlie saying farewell to Anne-Marie, voiced by Judith. This scene in particular poignant because it was the last time she recorded lines for the film. How sad is that? Reynolds reportedly struggled with the scene, choking back tears during recording, as he was saying goodbye to both his character and the young actress. See, straight away, that boy there, man, you know, that boy there just makes me sad. I've only seen Smile, the first one, and it is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely amazing. Why is that slow? Give me a moment. My fan was slow. Yeah, Rust. Yeah. It's sad when you see there's so many films and everything else. Like, when you do see things going on. You know, some things happen which are really, really sad. Yes, Angel, he did. Like I say, for when they're pulling us the skeletons, they looked real because they were. And obviously, Tobe Hooper, the guy who directed it, well, Ghost directed it because they say Spielberg did it. He, obviously, the Texas Chainsaw films, that was the guy, you know? He was the horror guy, wasn't he? But yeah, so creepy coincidences to eerily similar deaths. 11 things that happened during, on, or after the filming of these iconic horror films. Oh yeah, we'll say Greg, with the very first film, Ellen Burstyn, who played the mother, she, in the scene where you see Regan slap her, and she goes across the room, that was done, obviously, stuntmen pulled her, and they pulled her too hard, and William Friedkin said, do it. There's so many things going on. Oh, Water, yeah, oh, you know, Homeward Bound, oh, Bat Dog! Bat Dog, yeah, Michael J. Fox, so much fun. So we got by year about horror films. So number 1, Psycho. Infamous shower scene quickly became one of the most recognizable movie scenes ever. According to author Robert Graysmith, one fan might take his obsession with the film to heinous extremes. Oh. So, it's not about cursed, is it? Oh, coincidences, right, okay. I was wondering now, I could see there's nothing going on with that. So a guy, a handyman, was convicted of this. The Amityville Horror, Annabelle, The Conjuring, The Possession. Yeah, it's not what we were looking for. Here we go. Horror movie sets that were cursed. Yeah, this is what we're on about with the way that they actually get the people to come in and bless the sets. So the Nun director, Corin Hardy, claimed that he had first supernatural experience while shooting the movie. Shooting a scene in a 200-foot-long dark corridor filled with crosses in an actual underground Romanian fortress. Oh, that'd be cool to just go there. That'd be so good. He ducked into a pitch-black cell to watch from the monitors and saw a room full of what he assumed to be local crew members sitting behind him, all watching. After the scene played out, he turned back to see their reaction. No one was there. He claims there was only one door to the room and it was right in front of him. Ooh. Yes. Oh, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Good. That is a very good movie. I do like that one. Again, done by the guy who did Doctor Strange, Sinister, The Black Phone. Jennifer Carpenter, star of Emily, and her co-star had paranormal experience while working on the film. Jennifer revealed that she was woken up several times in the middle of the night by a radio turning on by itself, once blaring Alive by Pearl Jam. Ooh, that's cool. The unusual activity on the set of The Possession didn't happen behind the scenes. It happened while the cameras were rolling. Ooh, that could be a good one for us to check. According to star Jeffrey Dean Morgan, activity ranged from things like exploding lights and inexplicable cold wind in a room that had no drafts, to a mysterious fire. Ooh, that could be fun. According to The Ring 2's director Haijo Nakata, the film's crew had some real-life unfortunate encounters, suspiciously mirrored things that happened in the movie. In the film, water is used to symbolize someone's evil spirit, so it was especially creepy for him and the rest of the crew when the production office started flooding days after they started filming the movie. Okay, you know. Additionally, the set costumer had an incident walking to set on Universal Lot, where a 6-foot deer sprinted around the corner and right at it, going about 100 miles an hour. Bloody hell. If she'd just been a few steps closer, she said it would easily taken her down. And in the film, there's a scene where Samara uses deer in an attempt to kill Rachel and Aiden. Ooh. And you can watch that scene there. Yeah, we can't watch them though, sadly. Here we go. The Poltergeist scene, Angel. This is what we got up by you. Yeah, Arid, you can get lost, bud. Yeah, I don't want someone like you. You know, what is it with some people that they like to go on people's streams and just post shit? You know? That does crack me up a little bit, I must say. I must say that. But yeah, Angel, here we go. The actual skeletons. Going on regarding... It was cursed, attributing the long string of unfortunate circumstances that followed the cast and crew to use real human skeletons in the first film. Neither the crew nor Jo Beth Williams, who was literally inside the pool with them, knew the skeletons were real. Oh, imagine that! Imagine that! She was literally in the pool with them. Not just props. Before the final film was released, 4 cast members have passed, including the young girl who played Carol Ann herself, Heather O'Rourke. A 5th was brutally done like this over a decade later, and 1 more narrowly escaped their own death. Ooh. Oh, the Catacombs under Paris, yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of films that have filmed there, and they're absolutely amazing. Just the atmosphere, you know? Say Dominic Dunn, yeah, but I'm just talking about this one. The girl who played the older sister. Yeah, aww. Oh, we got by year. Richard Lawson, who played Ryan, was aboard US Air Flight 405, which crashed after takeoff. Wow. Half the passengers were passed away by the crash, but Richard fortunately survived. While one technically can attest all these tragedies to the set's curse, there does seem to be quite a significant amount of death and destructions. Excuse me, around its thing. Oh, Cassandra, yeah. So with that one, you know, they say that it was like one of the little people that they got so fed up, and one of the Munchkins, they hung themselves. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, Kel, let's say, obviously I don't stream on Twitch anymore, but I think that's like the 4th or 5th one we've had on Kick, and we had one on YouTube last week where Gelf and Sarcasm had to get rid of him. Absolutely nuts. Oh no, Kel, we'll get the Wizard of Oz one in a minute. It's one of the back scenes when they're like walking and you see in the distance. Both Annabelle and its sequel, again, you know what? I love the Conjuring movies. I love the entire series. Annabelle and the sequel, Annabelle Come Home, had some real strange things happen. From onset injuries like light fixtures falling and nosebleeds that stopped after leaving the house, to the Annabelle doll moving on its own. Ooh. Yeah, what I would, if I was filming, I'd be like, no, yeah, we're going to do it after the filming. They chose to bless the film. During the first film, director John R. Leonetti said the first time the demon was in full makeup, he walked down the hallway when suddenly a giant glass light fixture, which an actor had been following, suddenly crashed down onto the actor's head. Ooh. In the scene there about the film, the demon killed that character in that exact hallway. Absolutely nuts. I have, Greg, yeah. Like I say, obviously the real doll is a Raggedy Ann doll, not this magnificent creation. But yeah, because it was kind of funny, because a couple of months ago there was, for some unknown reason, someone decided to put out, oh my god, the Annabelle doll has gone missing, no one knows what's going on. And the son-in-law of the Warrens, the guy who runs the museum now and owns it, he went, no, we've had the Annabelle doll here with us the entire time. I have no idea who decided to say this, which is nuts. Oh, itchy ear. I will say it's kind of warm in here today. Did they use an actual cursed doll? No. So one of the best things regarding Zach Bagans' museum is, do any of you watch Sam and Colby? The two paranormal dudes on YouTube? Because like I say, they did one where they went around his museum, and the museum it just is creepy as hell. I would love to go there. I really would love to go there. But yeah, so saying about the demon there. On the set of the sequel, again, I think that's my favourite Annabelle one. Annabelle Comes Home. That's my favourite one, I think, because it's actually set in their house. On set of the sequel, Mads Nijman claimed that whenever she'd run up the stairs past the Warrens' bedroom, the Annabelle doll would be in a different position in the room. McKenna Grace also said that on the first day on set, rehearsing in the house the crew had crafted, her nose suddenly started pouring blood. When she went outside to clean it, it stopped. Ooh. Yeah, I'd love to go to the Dreadfell, hello. Yeah, say great. I would love to go to Zach Bagans' museum. I'd love to go there. It just looks so cool. Yeah, and it's the first one. The paranormal activity on set of The Conjuring seemed to be personal, while cast and crew reported things like waking up every morning at 3 a.m., the witching hour. They felt being watched, and the most horrifying haunts happened to actors Vera Farmiga. Oh, you know what? I absolutely love Vera. I love her sister as well, and Joey King. Vera allegedly found claw marks carved across her personal laptop while she was filming and didn't know how they got there. The very same claw marks appeared on her thigh one day shortly after she wrapped on the film. Oh, that's it. Is it Is it Benjamin or Benji the sailor, the doll? Robert. Robert the doll. This one. Yeah, it's yeah, Robert the doll. Absolutely nuts, innit? How these sort of things are the ones that can be done. It's like you also got the one in Zach Bagans in his museum, like you're not meant to look at their eyes and all this kind of stuff, isn't it? You know? Dread, there was a husband-wife murder that occurred next door to me. Oh my god. Dread, that sounds scary. That does sound horrifying as well, mate. Yeah, Greg, it's funny. You say, you know, don't take photos, and all they got are all these. You know, it's absolutely nuts. But I love seeing all these sort of things. I love talking about. I do like. So with the paranormal, I love horror. I love watching all these possession films and all this kind of stuff. But at this moment in time in my life, I do not believe that they are real, if that makes any sense. I think that's only because I need to witness it myself through my own eyes. That is it. Sarcasm, good day, my friend. Yeah, like I say, I need to see these things happen to be like, right, okay, something is there. I think that's more along the lines as well of why I'm an atheist. Like, I don't believe in God or anything like that. Even though my parents is completely, you know, just a bizarre level. You know? Roman Catholic, ex-Jehovah's Witness. It's those sort of things. Like, I need to see it for myself to believe. You know? If I see it, then I would believe it. You know? And the main reason for that is when my grandfather passed in 2008, me and my dad, we... Oh yeah, sarcasm. This is where we're going, buddy. My grandfather always said, if there is an afterlife, I am going to try my hardest to come back and prove it. Basically, do things or whatever. And since that, nothing's happened. You know? And he was the guy, you know, he's the guy I love the most. You know, it's like I say, I absolutely love my mum and dad to bits more than anything. But my Grampy Terry, he was my guy, like, you know, he was my guy. I missed the hell out of him. But again, with that saying there, literally, this is what we need to see. Greg, you know what? Saying about ghost hunts and all that. Well, like I say, my mate, me and G, my mate, Mr. G. Where we live, there is a place called St. Fagans, which is a National Museum of History. And St. Fagans is literally all the stuff from... I'll show you now. Literally, you know, what it was like, you know, when you had the clay roofs and all this kind of stuff, to the old-style shops. And this house here, St. Fagans Castle, is supposedly haunted. So, with that there, this is meant to be, say, haunted and everything else. So if you just do the castle... They do ghost tours. So me and my mate were like, you know what? We should do this. We should do it, and because it would be, I think it'd be amazing. And to be honest with you, I would record everything. And we got by here that St. Fagans Castle is a 16th century manor house, foundations reaching back to the 13th century. That was donated to the people of Wales by the 3rd Earl of Plymouth in 1948. And it says that over the years, many strange things have been seen and heard within the walls of the castle. From lights turning off and on by themselves, to voices being heard singing and talking when no one is around. To sightings of children in the windows of areas closed off to the public. Children are reported to be wearing old-fashioned clothes. Now with that, I haven't got it on me. I think it's like in a photo album in the other room. When I was in year 5, so year 5 primary school here in the UK was... You're around... 8, 9, 10, around that age. And we went there and we all had to dress like the old school kids of the early 1900s. Sorry, well, 1900s and 1910, I think was around there where we were. And the flat cap, the socks over the trousers, shoes, like a little waistcoat and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely loved it. I'll have to find it. I'll have to find it. But yeah, so this is supposedly done and I may go and do it. But again, no, it is always going on because, and there's no Dark Wales tours. Supposedly, areas around by me, the Cardiff area, South Wales, there's supposedly a lot of haunted attractions. So we will have to try and find things for that. Not all religious, but I love the demon horror movies. Oh, well, yes, I love all of them. I absolutely do. Dreadful, you know what? That is very, very true. One of the scariest places in Wales is being... ooh. Yeah. If I remember correctly, because I remember seeing that episode, Greg. But if I remember, though, Denver, or Danbar, whatever it's called, is mostly North Wales, which is about, in the car, like 5 or 6 hours away from me. Which is insane. Because Wales is not exactly that big of a place, is it? A ghost tour episode would be cool. Yeah, it would, it's like, say, it's... Hey, Bows, how's it going, bud? Yeah, there's so many places. Like I say, me and my mate G, we love all this stuff. We love all the horror. Everything to do with it, we absolutely love it. So we have been thinking of trying to find places to go. And like I say, I would literally, I would record it all. See what we're doing. Yeah, we'll say we started just doing with movie theories. And obviously now we've come into this, where we're finding cursed horror movies and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, with the paranormal and stuff, I need to see it with my own eyes to believe it. That's what I need. But yeah, the original Amityville Horror. Brolin was encouraged by his team to read the book, as the film had no script yet, and he was eyeing him for the cast. He was reading a particularly scary part of the book when his pants, which he frequently hung over the top of his bedroom door, suddenly fell to the floor. He was spooked and amused by the happening that he decided there and then to do the film. Yeah. Melissa George, Amityville Horror remake. The real-life Kathy Lutz, who was heavily involved in the production to the point of being credited as a writer, died. Okay. Again, Stephen King. See, with him, I don't find that his things scary. A lot of them, they're good stories, but I don't find them that scary. Never have done. It's just the way it goes, You can find the Lillemor one there. What we got by here? This is one film I haven't seen, House of the Devil, which is meant to be good. The hotel that Ty West and his crew stayed at while filming House of the Devil was so haunted, it inspired his next horror flick, The Innkeepers. Okay. While staying at the Yankee Peddler Inn in Torrington, Connecticut, he claimed that they saw doors close on their own, TV turned on and off, lights burning out frequently, and crew members having strangely vivid dreams every night. Okay, could be fun. The Innkeepers, then again, same thing. And obviously, The Exorcist. Oh, sarcasm. So you're on about the COVID thing. Oh, Maximum Overdrive, 100% a fever dream. Oh, what a fever dream, though, innit? Because the thing with Maximum Overdrive that I see it, I instantly think of the Green Goblin. Because of the truck. That was it. But yeah, obviously The Exorcist being the number one is one of the most well-known, potentially cursed movies. Long list of unfortunate events happened. Severe injuries to fires to a literal murder. The first occurrence happened before filming even begun. The set in the McNeil home, which was all ready to go for filming, burned down. The only room that survived was the bedroom that belonged to Regan. The crew had to rebuild the set, which took 6 weeks, further delaying the filming. Max von Sydow and Linda Blair lost close family members. The cast and crew of the film also suffered many onset injuries, yet long back injuries because of the way they were literally thrown around with a stunt crew. Characters possessed and meant to be screaming. On top of these injuries, reported that one crew member lost a toe, another lost a thumb, and 9 deaths occurred during production of the film, including that of actor Jack McGowan, the guy who played Burke Dennings. Yeah, the one who gets... Now, this is the one. This guy here. This dude. Alright? He's literally only in the movie for, like, what? 5 minutes, if that? He was a real-life serial killer. How insane is that? And... William Friedkin's Al Pacino movie, Cruising, was based on him. Yeah, so he's an American convicted murder and former radiographer. He appeared as a technologist in a scene in The Exorcist, which was inspired when the film's director watched him perform a real one. The scene was a considerable amount of blood on screen, was for many viewers the most... Yeah, this is one thing I don't understand. It's... People say this is the most disturbing scene in the film. When she's there and she's having the operation, they put the needle in and blood spurts out of her neck. It's, again, no. Thinking back to when the film was made, 1973, there was not a lot of blood and guts, was there? So again, that probably did do it. But yeah, he was convicted of doing film industry journalist Addison Verrill and sentenced to a minimum of 20 years. He was released on parole, which ended after 5 years. They implicated him in a series of unsolved slayings of gay men in Manhattan, known as the Bag Murderers, which was the film Cruising, Al Pacino, and William Friedkin. Yeah, he was released after 5 years. But yeah, with this one by here, because a lot of people were going on and they actually criticised Cruising for saying, oh, these, you know, they're targeting gay men, they're all of this. And it's like, well, actually, no, because this guy, he's the one who did it. Like, you know? Absolutely nuts. Absolutely insane. What we got? I haven't seen the original truck. We'll have to look at that in a moment. Yeah, because this always reminds me of, like, say, the Green Goblin and stuff. Is that the one there, Bows? Yeah, like say, obviously back then in the 1973, a lot of things weren't exactly well known to be seen as, you know, it's like, look at Psycho, you know, a decade beforehand. They used chocolate syrup for blood, which is absolutely amazing. But yeah, like say, he was the guy who did it. And it's absolutely nuts. Jailhouse, suspicion and serial killings. His trial and what he's done. But yeah, supposedly... a record said that he passed away on September 15th, 2012. Which is a very interesting thing to think of. Yeah, absolutely insane. But yeah, that's, you know, it's... The one thing that I absolutely love with The Exorcist is... The film's 2 hours long. And for the first... You know what, I'm literally going to say the first 95 to 100 minutes, there's no horror whatsoever. There's disturbing imagery and stuff like that, but literally, the exorcism doesn't come in until the last 10-15 minutes. And that's what I love about that film. I think that's why it is the greatest horror film of all time. Because it's literally just a psychological thriller up until that point. And then it's just literally like, right, okay, this is it now. Go guys, do the horror shit. And they did, they knocked out of the park. I'll always remember my dad talking about it because he saw it, and him and my mum watched it, and my mum hates horror. This is how scared of those kind of things my mum is. My mum hates Harry Potter and Ghostbusters because she goes, no, it scares me. No. Oh, seeing that truck behind you, innit? It's absolutely nuts. Oh, they restored it. That'd be cool. That'd be so cool. Yeah, like I say, there's the subliminal imagery in it. Yeah, I just say that's why I think it's the greatest horror film of all time. It is so well done. It is a masterpiece of the horror genre, well, of any genre. You know, up until Silence of the Lambs won the best film Oscar, literally, that was the only horror film that was nominated for best picture up until 1991. Oh, the astronaut, yeah. You're going to die up there. Which, again, is this film, The Ninth Configuration. That is the sequel to The Exorcist. But yeah, I think I will have to go on one of these tours, try and get some stuff done. Because I think it'd be so cool just to go there and see them. I think it'd be amazing. You know what, I do like the Japanese versions of The Ring, but the very first Ring, the US one, the first one they did, I do think that is such a great movie. It is so well done. And a lot of people weren't expecting it. Because there's horror aspects, but again, it's not gory, which to me shows that you can do a great horror film without gore. The Conjuring, the first two Conjuring, the third one, I'll watch it, but The Conjuring 1 and 2 are just, again, masterpieces for modern day horror. And I do love when they do horror films that doesn't rely on blood and gore, which I do like blood and gore much as the next person. I love Dusk Till Dawn and all the over the top, but those kind of film needs it. The Ring, The Exorcist, the Conjuring films, those kind of things, they do not need blood and violence. They do not need it. All it needs to be is literally hypothetical, like, oh, okay, what about this? And like hauntings and possessions. If done right, they can make anyone jump. Anyone. Oh, the original Alien, yeah. The original Alien is still fantastic. It's still good. Haunted House in Space. That's what that is. It's same as Event Horizon, which gets such a bad rap. But Event Horizon is so good. So good. What else have we got? So as for them ones there. But yeah, there's so many things going on that it can... You can see things and be like, not really, it doesn't really go. Like, we have had so many horror films where it's so well done, but then all of a sudden they go somewhere and it's like, what the hell is this, Silence of the Lambs, yes. Ninth Gate, yeah, another like a mind one. But yeah, Event Horizon. The one thing that really upsets me with Event Horizon is how much stuff they cut out. So much was cut out from the Event Horizon. It's sad. Let's say you had so many, like, this scene. Just look at that. Look how insane these are. I can't blow it up because we will get copyrighted and we'll probably get demonetized because of certain things. But yeah, oh, that's The Fly. Come on. But yeah, like this part here, the when he just shows everything is just so good. It's so good. Hey, Mel, be able to go in. Oh, Mad Max is a great movie. Sadly, there is no director's cut. So he's gone on about it so many times, Paul Anderson has, but he's like, we haven't got any of the footage. Because he said, first of all, that there was... that they found something in like a salt mine in Transylvania and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, here we go. So, the initial DVD release came a surprise hit. The studio and Anderson became interested in assembling the director's cut. But found that the excised footage had not been carefully stored and gone missing. And like I say, you know, you have got different, you know, things here and there of what's been going on. Obviously, the biggest one was the visions from hell and the blood orgy scene. So, with the blood orgy scene, one thing with that, it was the... because Anderson was too busy doing other things with the film, the guy, the second unit director, went and got adult stars and a lot of amputees and literally got the special effects guys and said, go to work. And they literally put out and made a scene that was so horrific. It was something like 6 minutes long as well, if I remember correctly. Like I say, we got it by here. So, yeah, the blood orgy video was Anderson was sometimes too busy. Real-life amputees were used for special effects, where Event Horizon crew members were all of this. And adult actors were hired to make these scenes more realistic and graphic. And in the film, they literally just spliced it up so much that you can't see what's going on. But obviously, the Visions of Hell scene, that was much, much more graphic. Like, if you just look by here, like we were looking at all of these scenes. Absolutely insane. And there was one scene where... you know what? I'll try and find it and I'll put it in chat. Because what it was... There's one guy I follow. He does a lot of these type of horror videos. And he looks at all this kind of stuff. It's... Come on. Come on. Right, so we got this by here. Event Horizon. There we go. Oh, where is it? Oh, I don't say he's taking it down. Come on, come on, come on. But yeah, he does, he's done, right, here we go. That's the video there. He goes through scenes that were deleted and everything else, and he talks about them. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff. But yeah, it's sad that they got rid of a lot of stuff, because personally, I think if they left these sort of things in, the film would have been even more of a cult hit. Because it's a cult hit now, because it is a great movie. And so many things are cut out. There was one part when you see the blood rushing through the ship and comes down the ladder and all that, and when he picks up Stark, you see the guy crawling down the ladder. Oh, so good. Exactly, Bowes. Exactly. Going to hell and back and everything else. You need to show it. Oh, yeah. Well, see, sarcasm. Mr. H Reviews, he's got so many great videos from a couple of years ago where he went over... There was meant to be a Hellraiser movie where it was meant to be Pinhead's, like, prequel for him and all this kind of stuff. And I'll try and find it now. Because the imagery that was used and some of the Hellraiser Origins, that's what it was meant to be called. Is it on the website? Yes. So, this was done a number of years ago. And what it was meant to be, the special effects are phenomenal. Like, say, look at that. Look at that creature. You know, all this kind of stuff. Oh, what a drag. I love special effects and how things are made. But look at all these. this was all meant to be what it was, Hellraiser Origins. Absolutely incredible what it was meant to be. But they just couldn't get the funding for it. Through all these images and everything else and the special effects, you can see it was meant to be a messed up movie. You know? But, because there was even like a script as well on here about it. Try not on there. Yeah, so Wrath of the Titans, Battle of LA, TMNT movies. These are the guys who are going to do it. And as you can see, I really do think this would have been amazing. It would have been great. I really do think so. Oh, and you got other ones by here, other things they would do, which is absolutely insane. You look at, they're doing all of this, but then it's like, oh look, we're gonna do the Prince of Egypt and all that kind of stuff afterwards. But yeah, this is what it was gonna be, and it's sad because I really do think this would have been absolutely incredible. Origins. Yeah, like, you know, look at that. Look how awesome that would have been. Yeah, in the end, they just made like a little thing for it. But I really do think if they were given the time and the money to make it, it would have been incredible. Because you got full plot of unmade... there, okay, here we go. Let's have a little watchy, shall we? Opens up like the first movie with Frank. Just this, the sound, man, is so cool. Fucking goosebumps. Look how fucking cool that looks. And that is literally it. Hellraiser Origins. How fucking cool is that? How fucking cool. I'm telling you, if that film came out, it would be fucking huge. It would. That literally with that there, you know, that could, it would have been huge. I like the Hellraiser remake that kind of came out, with a remake or whatever you want to call it, in 2022. I do like that movie. But if they made this one, this film would have been, it would have been one of the best horror films in decades. That would have been awesome. But yeah, it takes place in a pre-biblical world where man and the older gods walk the same scorched earth. Pinhead is a human ambassador, the ruler of the Cenobites and master of the largest citadel in the land. That would be so cool. That would have been amazing. That really would have. But yeah, You know, when you see things like this, and it's like, oh my God, it would have been so good. And it's, to be honest with you, with the Hellraiser films, because what is there? 8, 9? 8 or 9? Out of all of them, it's like only 4 of them are good. But again, no, that kind of happens with a lot of horror films when they want to make, we'll make a quick buck. Because when you look at the Hellraiser ones after the 4th one, after Bloodlines, each one was made, like say, Bowers, exactly, just made just to keep the rights, because it was Dimension Films. And they were just literally, we'll make, a bit like how Roger Corman made the Fantastic Four in 1994, just so he could keep the rights. But yeah, like I say, with that one there, I really do think if they had the people making that, it would have been great. It would have been really, really good. Especially when you see, like, you know, the arms and everything else going up, and it's just like the massive citadel, like, you know? Oh, God. Yeah, Kel, there's so many. So, 1, 2. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11. Okay, there's more than even I thought. There's 11. Which is absolutely insane. But yeah, Bloodline is alright, as long as you get the, like the director's cut sort of thing. Oh, Cassandra, we should. Yeah. Like I say, the first 3 Hellraiser, well, the first 2 were incredible. I absolutely love Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. I think that's the best in the entire series. Hell on Earth, they kind of went the way of like a Nightmare on Elm Street 2, where, oh look, Pinhead, he's gonna kill everyone, ha ha ha. And it's like, no. But then that's when you realise that Hell on Earth is when it went to Dimension Films, Miramax. And they were like, we need him to become someone like Freddy Krueger or something. And Hellraiser 3 is when Pinhead started doing all the puns, like Freddy Krueger and stuff. But when you look at all of these, it's like, you know, like I say, you had Hellraiser Inferno, Scott Derrickson, the guy did Insidious, not Insidious, sorry, Sinister and all of them. Say Hellseeker is like, ugh. There's so many where literally, if you look at the posters, they're terrible. You know, absolute. And that's so that one there is the 9th one. That's where Doug Bradley kind of went, I'm not playing Pinhead anymore after 8 films, you know. Judgment, that could have been good, because with the Judgment, they actually had characters in this that if they had the budget, would have been good. But their budget was $350,000. That is literally it. If they got pictures of them. So that is what they wanted to do. They wanted to make it look more realistic and more violent and more gory. But if we put in to search, we should find some other ones of the Auditors. And like I say, you got him there. Not too bad, you know, looks kind of cool. But you had all the other ones. Like, yeah, you had the Butcher. You know, the big dude with the meat cleaver and all that kind of stuff. You know, they were cool looking. You had this one as well. That is on the back of the Butcher. You know, absolutely insane. But sadly, the guy who actually did it, Gary, this guy here, he actually did the special effects from number 3 onwards. So the guy was literally in the originals. But I think he was like on the first 2 as well, but literally just like a gopher. As you can see, you know, the guy's got great special effects background. Hellraiser, you know, all of these. Candyman, Wishmaster, the Dracula 2000 series, Feast, Pulse. He's got a lot of good stuff on him. But sadly, though, again, Mr. Harvey Weinstein. He came along because he had the rights to it, same as the Halloween movies. Let's just make them so people can keep the rights, which sucks. When film companies do that and they're like, oh, we're only going to make these because we want to keep them. Nah, you know for a fact it's going to be shit. You just know it. But I'll say we still got 2 videos to go through, guys. We've been what? Have we really been on here for 2 hours and 10 minutes talking about horror? Holy shit. Nice. I'll move one video to tomorrow, which will be the piracy one. What I will do now, though, I will put on the one for today, the serial killer vlogging. This is interesting. So I'm going to unmute that. What we'll probably do, though, we'll probably not go through this entire video. Like I say, it is an hour and a half. But, oh, there we go. Yeah, go about there. Boom. Come on, there we go. So, yes, we're going to have a little look-see at this one, folks.
Kill somebody. If you're seen by a single other person on the trail, then that day's screwed.
In Cherokee County, Georgia.
So, Melby, what they do, when they buy a film, they buy the rights for a certain amount of time. So it's when, let's say, we'll use the Hellraiser sequels, you know, for them perfect thing. So when Miramax bought the distribution and the rights to make a Hellraiser movie, what they had to do, they would probably, in the contract, you've got 2 years or you've got 3 years to make said movie. For all, you know, they may be making, you know, making a good story, and they may like, oh no, we're not going to fund that. We're not going to fund that. And they could keep going back and forth. Then, all of a sudden, say that you got 8 months left on the contract where you need to make a movie. They will make a movie, even if it's of the lowest and the shittest quality. So when they release it, they will still have the right then to make a sequel to that movie, because that normally is the option. Oh, we'll make a movie, and if we can, we'll do the rights. We'll keep the rights. If you don't make a movie in those 3 years, the sequel, well, the rights come back to us, but you still keep the money. That's how it is. Like say you had Fantastic Four was made in 1994 by Roger Corman, a Z-list studio, but because he made the film in 1994, he never had to give the rights back to Marvel. Because he said, if I make the movie, I keep the rights for whatever. And he released it, I think, to 2 cinemas. Because that is literally it. You have to release it, and it can literally be in 1 cinema. And even if you, like say, 10 people see it, we showed it. We showed it in the cinema. That's it. It's absolutely nuts. Oh, it is sucky. It's literally Hollywood crap, the way they do it. It's absolutely disgusting the way they do it. Oh. All right.
Sheriff's deputy stops to question a man parked on private hunting lands. At worst, the man is guilty of trespassing, or so the deputy thinks as he approaches.
Good, yourself, sir? What you doing out here?
Well, you're the fourth person to come along.
Am I?
And asked me that. I guess they called you, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
I just wanted to place a camp because I'm on my way to cut. I'm leaving. As a matter of fact, I'm getting my maps together. I got to buy some maps right now.
That's why I just came out to place those. This is Lee's hunting property, and they're very strict about who.
I see that.
But behind this man's friendly demeanor is a calculating predator hiding bloody secrets and a lengthening trail of bodies.
Life has been sweet. We got to document it.
Look, I'm taking a picture of what I'm pumped for immortality right there.
If there's deer hunters around there, I can be wearing a purple shirt, that red backpack, and they're going to tell me I'm going to get shot. But, you know.
Oh, Melby, 1000%. Exactly.
I won't kill anyone today. We'll just go hiking with my dog. Have fun. We're doomed anyway.
I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. God almighty.
Can I get your ID real quick?
Yeah, you sure can. And it's in a, you see that fanny pack right there?
Yes. Are there any weapons in that fanny pack?
Absolutely not. And I'm going to bring it to you.
The deputy follows the man back to his van, never suspecting for a moment that he is in the presence of a cold-blooded monster who has killed before. He literally
recorded all of his stuff, which is insane.
And when you get down to the bitter end, you ignore all the rules you set, which I did.
Oh, no.
Oh, I do have an expanded timeline.
we can't put the Fast and Furious into the things that are crap. It's one of the best series ever, but it's, to be honest with you, some of them, they do go a little bit far. Number 5 and 6 are the king of that franchise.
Right there, don't get nervous.
The following report is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. The first sign of trouble in Leon County, Florida comes when 46-year-old nurse Cheryl Dunlap doesn't show up for her Sunday school class. But it's not until she misses work at Florida State University the next day, December 3rd, 2007, that her friend reports her missing. Her adult son goes by her house, hoping to find an innocent explanation.
The dog was still in there. What was your first thoughts? This ain't good. She's been missing for 2 days and that dog is still in there. That dog is everywhere with her. And if she's not taking it, she makes arrangements for it to be taken care of. Now, that dog was my brother, if you will.
Police soon realized that no one in Cheryl's life has heard from her since the morning of December 1st, 2 days earlier, when she told a friend
what
she was
we're
going
seeing
to the
by
library.
here as well with
She
this
was logged
guy,
into the
it was 2007, because that's what the body cam said. Absolutely nuts.
Wakulla County Public Library's computer system at 9:45 that morning.
Oh, Cal,
and she cashed a check.
It goes, so obviously the first 2 is like street racing and all that. The third one's awesome, Tokyo Drift. Then it goes into being super spies and all that. Number 5 is just them being robbers, which is exactly what the first film was about. And it was great. Then it was just about going a little bit, how can we push the stunts to be so ludicrous? That's how they just kept going. Ludicrous, he also stars in them.
For $100 at 11:15 a.m. After that, police know nothing. They ask her friends if she might have suddenly decided to leave it all behind.
She wanted to travel. Literally, her actual words was, she said, Laura, she said, I really want some adventure in my life. But she also said that she wanted them through missions. The first thing that comes to mind when I think about Cheryl is godly. You hear about people that are Christians, but she was the type person that she really, really, really tried to live this Christian life.
Bless her.
The way the Bible said.
The idea that Cheryl walked away from her job, her friends, and her 2 sons doesn't seem likely. And the likelihood dims that afternoon when Cheryl's car is found parked off the road near Leon Sink's Geological Park. It's been abandoned. There's no sign of Cheryl or anyone else.
Then we got the call, said they found the car while we were there at the house. So we went there. And I just sat there watching them process it for a little while. And I had heard over the radio that there was a foul odor coming from the trunk. So I wanted to go to see myself if it was or wasn't. So I stood around there and I couldn't smell nothing, so.
But there are troubling signs. Her purse and keys remain in the vehicle. Her belongings are scattered across the seat, and one of the rear tires is flat. When police take a closer look, alarm bells begin to sound.
Yeah, damn right they would.
Have been deliberately punctured. Signs of foul play are mounting, and it has Cheryl's friends in turmoil.
I've lost a brother suddenly. I've lost a sister. I've lost my mom and dad.
Oh, bless her.
And nothing has shaken me like this.
Oh,
Absolutely
shit.
Nothing.
Her son, meanwhile, reflects on a memory he fears may haunt him forever.
I started trying to call her and ask her opinions about what I should do with my life. She didn't have her phone on that day. And I was outside building the pen when she called back. And I told her I couldn't talk right into
Oh, that must be eating the kid
a
up.
couple of weeks ago.
That was the last
Oh,
time
the
you talked
poor
to her.
kid.
I didn't even talk to her.
But that's the last time you heard from her?
Cheryl Dunlap's picture is splashed across the local media. A couple reports seeing her at Leon Sink's on the afternoon of December 1st, sitting on a bench reading a book. From that point forward, her whereabouts are unknown. That is, until police learn from Cheryl's bank.
With this dude here, the one who's done all of this, obviously, if he's recording and vlogging, as they say, obviously during his entire spree, obviously he wants to be remembered, doesn't he? You know, he's doing it for like, oh, look what I did. Yeah, I'm this great or whatever. But surely it'd be like when people see these, like, I'm only assuming this now, is like, what if he got caught or when he got caught, they're going to see all of these and they got all the evidence. literally, you can't say anything about it. It's a bit like with in Scream, in the very first one. You know, with the way that you find out, obviously in the third one then, is, we didn't like his daddy appearing in my home movies of Mom and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, wow, you're actually recording? But again, though, it kind of goes back to Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, which is a great movie. And it shows that literally in the 80s, they did it. You know? They were the ones who were recording the horrible stuff. It's insane.
Think that her ATM card has been used 5
trophies,
times
do you
between
think?
December 2nd and December 4th to make withdrawals totaling more than $700.
So if someone used her card, they would have to know it or either get it from her. It wouldn't be where they could just look at it and see it.
No. Probably the only way.
Seeing all the mess in the car as well.
Either they threatened her life or her
Obviously, they emptied it looking
head
for
to
stuff.
the bank's main branch to see if there's video, while also looking to the public for help.
Do you remember seeing a gentleman that might have roused your suspicion at all?
No, there's a lot of people come in here that rouses my suspicion. I look at every one of them.
Police have a long investigation in front of them, but what they see at Cheryl's bank makes it clear that there's no time to waste.
You know what, Cassandra,
In
that
video
could
of her
actually be
recent
it.
ATM transactions, detectives see what they
That could be
feared
it.
most. It's not Cheryl Dunlap using the ATM, but a shadowy figure wearing a disturbing homemade mask. Investigators note that the man is tall and thin, but that's not a lot to go on, even for those who know Cheryl best.
Is that like a paper mask or something?
I can't imagine anybody. Because my mom's that type that everybody loves her. She doesn't have any enemies. She's not a Lulu that she just go disappearing. Even the description of the guy on the ATM machine, I can't think of anybody out of description. Skinny,
It's like a
tall,
paper
lanky.
mache mask, innit, that they put around.
The identity of the man behind the mask remains a mystery. But a month
Think of anybody.
The identity of the man behind the mask remains a mystery.
See, to me, that looks like a paper mache mask.
But a month later, more than 300 miles to the north, another woman would suddenly vanish.
Oh, no.
And this time, the monster wouldn't stay in the shadows. On January 1st, 2008, a 24-year-old Georgia woman named Meredith Emerson leaves a note for her roommate before heading off on a hike with her black lab, Ella. When she still hasn't returned by the next morning, her roommate files a report with the Union County Sheriff's Office. Meredith's boyfriend goes looking for her car, which she finds in one of the parking lots at Blood Mountain, one of Meredith's favorite hiking spots. He leaves a note on her car and, with the eventual help of friends and police, begins searching the trails and the surrounding wilderness. Soon, news of her disappearance is statewide, as an investigator with the Dawson County Public Defender's Office told EWU.
It hit the papers here because where she went missing is not far from here. So the county was put on full alert. I mean, we were aware of the case probably as soon as she was declared missing.
But despite the intense search effort, there's no sign of Meredith. Investigators talked to several people who saw Meredith on the mountain on New Year's Day, and it turns out they noticed something else as well. An older man lurking nearby. One witness says he even came across a suspicious scene a few minutes after seeing the two. A disturbed portion of the hiking trail, as if there had been a
Makes
struggle.
you think that does.
Left behind on the ground were several items, including water bottles, a dog leash, and most ominously of all, an expendable police baton. Witnesses described the man they saw with Meredith, a 60-year-old white male, around 5 foot 10 inches, 160 pounds. And they mention another fact as well. He had a large reddish dog with him. Police share these details with the local media, and the tips start rolling in. Could this man be responsible for Meredith's disappearance?
Could be.
Could he even be the same sinister figure seen taking money out of Cheryl Dunlap's bank account a month earlier? The cases are eerily similar. Two women, alone by themselves on national forest land, and now both of them missing. In Leon County, Florida, the tips in Cheryl's case are beginning to take on a familiar shape.
Absolutely nuts.
Ran into this man and his white van, and his dog started barking at us. A big dog, kind of reddish, brownish hair, long hair, I guess.
Again and again, witnesses come forward to describe a very specific man they saw in the
Water,
area.
yeah, that could
And most
be
of them agree
a
that
good
it was
way
late
of thinking
November
of it.
2007.
If he's
only
literally
days
only
before
going to
Cheryl
go
Dunlap
to
went missing.
go to the cash machine Obviously with a camera, quick. It's going to be there like 5-10 minutes. Bang it on in the car, get out, go up. Oh, they can't see me, blah, blah, blah. Get in the car and go.
And we saw an old man, skinny. I remember he was skinny, looked homeless, walking towards us.
A gentleman was standing in front of it and said hello, and he engaged in conversation immediately. I noticed stuff strewn around the campsite, and the most prominent thing was a beautiful dark red Irish setter.
This gentleman with his dog approached me coming
Can
out
I
of the
pet that
woods,
dog?
and it made me nervous.
Can I pet your dog?
He had this big long knife strapped to his side. The dog was looked like a golden retriever, but it was like a dark rust color.
Probably 5'9", 5'10". He's an older man.
Scruffy
Yeah,
in the
we're
face,
seeing all the bones. Holy hell.
He gave me the creeps when I saw him.
He weirded us out so much that, I mean, I was just joking, completely joking around when I said this, but when we left, I was like, man, that guy's killed like 10 people.
An older man,
and he
a white
did.
van, a red dog. The details coming in are consistent. First in Florida, and then a month later in the Georgia mountains. But it's not until a businessman named John Tabor hears the news that police are finally able to put a name to this phantom. Tabor calls
they are
the
beautiful
Georgia Bureau
dogs.
of Investigation's tip line and says the man they're looking for used to work for him selling house siding, right up until the day he demanded money and threatened to kill him.
Oh, there
the
we
man
go.
drives a white Chevrolet Astro van, and he has a red golden retriever he calls Dandy.
That's
name,
just
Tabor
dandy.
tells them, is Gary Michael Hilton. And that's when things start to move very quickly.
Wow.
Armed with this new information, the GBI finds Hilton's driver's license records in the system, and they send out an updated Be on the Lookout report to law enforcement and the general public that includes his name and photograph. Hilton is labeled a person of interest in Meredith Emerson's disappearance, and investigators hope to find him before it's too late. Unfortunately, in the Florida case of Cheryl Dunlap, hope has already run out.
I drove up in there to where I like to walk the dogs in, and I seen some buzzards fly up just right beside the road.
On December 15th, 2007, 14 days after Cheryl Dunlap was last seen, a hunter comes upon a tragic discovery in the forest.
I told my son to stay in the truck to, let me see what the buzzards was doing. And
Look for
I walked
soft
out there,
skin.
It appeared to be a human body.
Skin looks lovely.
At first, all I could see was just maybe the torso. I didn't see a head. I could see it was from maybe neck to waist.
Okay.
And I thought it was a deer to start with. And when I looked at it, and I seen the leg and the foot sticking out, and I knew what it was then.
The body is nude and is already significantly decomposed. It is found deep in the forest.
Soft and supple.
It appeared to have been somebody tried to cover it up.
Police find the body covered in tree limbs and palmetto frond.
So with this, if he's just burying it in literally, it says there, palmetto fronds and just, leaves and sticks, he wants people to know that that people have been killed there. Not that he's the one who's doing it, obviously. But it seems to be he wants to be like, yeah, they found it. They found it. That's what it seems to be.
From the surrounding woods, but that's not enough to hide the damage that has been done to this woman. Her hands have been removed. Her nipples have been cut off. She's been decapitated and left out here
Oh my
to rot.
God.
Because of the advanced decomposition and the missing head, the medical examiner could only label the cause of death as undetermined homicidal violence. 4 days later, the Leon County Sheriff's Office holds a press conference to announce the grim news the community had feared. The body in the woods belongs to Cheryl Dunlap. Authorities in Georgia are desperate to catch up
Literally,
to Gary Hilton
man, he
before
just
the
didn't
same
even
fate befalls
didn't even
Meredith
bother doing
Emerson.
anything.
On January 4th, 3 days since her disappearance, there's a development.
That's my birthday, January 4th. Absolutely. It's just nuts to see that this guy would go through all of that and literally be like, you know what, I'm not even going to put him in the ground. I'm just going to cover them with leaves. That's literally it. But obviously, there's these two. There's bound to be more. So many more.
A black lab is spotted walking into a Kroger supermarket in Cumming, Georgia. It's chipped, and before the day is through, they've identified it as Ella, Meredith's dog. When Meredith's father speaks to the press, he says, "We're happy that Ella has been found, but..."
You know what? I literally just heard that, and I know you can't see it. I'll go back. It says, when Meredith's father speaks to the press, I thought they just said, oh, when Meredith's dog spoke to the press. I was thinking, fucking hell, a dog can talk?
When Meredith's father speaks to the press, he says, "We're happy that Ella has been found, but Meredith is still out there." Later that day, a woman reports that Gary Hilton called her wanting money.
Oh, God, yeah, they all
The
do
return
think
number
that
comes
they're
from a
clever.
payphone,
They all do.
And police quickly track it to a Quick Trip in Cumming, just across the street from where Ella was found.
Ed Gein, yeah.
They process
Just
the
another
payphone
one.
for evidence, but it's what they find in the nearby dumpster that gives them a shock.
No way. Was
Woman's
there other
purse,
stuff?
bloody clothing, and a wallet with identification cards inside. The driver's license and student ID cards belong to Meredith Emerson. If the hunt for Gary Hilton could ever become more intense, it just did. And that night, police get the 911 calls they've been hoping for.
Hi, I'm calling from Cadenbridge Square Shopping Center, and I'm calling about that person, Gary Hilton, in connection with the woman that's missing.
A man matching Gary Hilton's description has been spotted at a Chevron station in Chamblee, Georgia, approximately 30 miles south of Cumming.
But I'm walking my dog, and at the gas station up here, there's a white van and a red dog wandering around like his red dog.
It's definitely him. The van is there. The dog is there.
Exactly, Cassandra. We'll say what you said about the dog. This is literally the dog. If it was just like, say, a Labrador or whatever, yeah, okay, you know, normal looking dog. But picking one that literally is red, you know, that's going to stand out with a rustic color of it. That dog is going to stick out miles. Hey, Intimidator, how we doing, man? How we doing? How's work going?
He's throwing stuff in the dumpster here. He's making multiple trips back to his van and getting out and taking it to a dumpster.
114, you know, Sergeant Crow, we're around to that location at a PIB.
It's definitely him. He's looking around.
It's
like
definitely him, and like that's nuts, isn't it?
He's going to be gone if somebody doesn't get here.
I can go take him down if you want. Stay right there. Okay.
I'll take him down, man. I'll take him down.
You guys got to hurry. Oh, I'm just shaking. Here we go. Here comes the cops. Yes. Yes. Police are there? Yes. Yes. They got him.
Hilton goes flat on the ground immediately and is taken into custody. The police also secure his van and his now famous red dog, Dandy. But while the arrest goes off without a hitch, every officer on scene can see for themselves the unsettling truth. Meredith Emerson is nowhere to be found. Hilton is taken to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, where he lies prone on the floor, unwilling to cooperate and complaining of pain from multiple sclerosis.
Mr. Hilton, my name's Clay Bridges. I'm a special agent with GBI.
Today off, nice.
Over the past couple of days, I've come to know you pretty good. I've spoken with numerous people who say that you're extremely healthy, extremely smart, very intelligent, almost genius level. I would prefer to talk to you if you were kind of sitting up and I could look at you a little bit. And I understand that you're a distance runner and that you know, a very healthy individual.
With Hilton unwilling to answer questions, the agent says something that is perhaps intended to get a reaction.
Boy, I tell you, it's a whole lot warmer down here than it was up on Blood Mountain.
But Hilton doesn't take the bait, and neither the GBI nor the doctors can get him to talk.
We're going to take really good care of you, okay? Basically.
Like you already have.
Yes, sir.
Do
you feel like you've been mistreated?
Yes, I have.
How?
When was the last time you had a good meal?
I'm through talking to you. I'm making those statements. I don't want to be interrogated anymore.
Well, if you don't want to talk to me, then I'm going to make the decision that right now you're not an immediate life threat and that you could possibly stay here with these gentlemen, continue doing with them what they need to do with you, okay?
Put me back in the handcuffs.
There are many signs that Hilton has been in an altercation, including a cut on his nose and a badly swollen right hand. GBI agent Clay Bridges leaves Hilton with a final thought.
Remember what I told you about that, about Meredith? You need to go ahead and just tell us where she's at, okay?
Not going to, though, is it?
Aside from it being the right thing to do.
Hilton isn't moved by this appeal to his conscience, which is perhaps not surprising if he's the man guilty of killing Cheryl Dunlap in Florida. And the evidence is growing. The tips keep coming in Leon County, And police search
Sarcasm,
campsites
you are
near where
right.
Hilton was reportedly seen.
The world is full of
At
people
one,
like this,
they
which is
make a
nuts.
horrifying discovery. A burn.
It's nuts to think that, like say, this world, there's so many people who are like this. You know, there's so many people out there as well who, again, it's like they think that they deserve to do stuff like this. And again, you have got people who don't act on those impulses. And the amount, again, social media and the internet and all this kind of stuff now, it's just more widely known and widely seen that these kind of things always happen. Yeah, but yeah, when he said that he's been mistreated, he hasn't. He's lying on the floor being a child. More than likely because he got caught.
Pit, amongst which they find charred finger bones and skull fragments. The limited remains make DNA identification impossible.
Oh my
But
days.
police are almost certain that the remains belong to Cheryl. And it won't be long before evidence in the Meredith Emerson case draws an undeniable line between the two women. With Hilton unwilling to talk, police in Georgia focus on his van. Since Hilton has been living in the Chevy Astro for a long time, there's no shortage of things to look through.
Bloody
and
hell.
along the way, they come up with a fascinating discovery.
Oh.
A Sony digital camera and several memory sticks containing some very interesting videos.
See,
Look, I'm taking a picture of what I'm...
This is what I was on about earlier. This right here. He's literally recorded everything, and he has recorded, it wouldn't surprise me, him doing these things, and that is literally what's going to be like, we don't need you to confess, we know you've done it, we have the evidence.
Come for
Insane.
immortality right here. Good. The camera's right there. As Pruitt would say. Oh, yeah.
These home videos give investigators an unprecedented look into the life of a violent drifter.
Yeah, he's just a real red, and he has that Irish confirmation also. Okay, come on, honey. Let's get. Good boy. Now you got to stay out here. Okay, now we're going to get ready after he's greeted.
Oh, look at a lovely
we'll be
dog,
all
man.
happy. You got to stay right here, Wawa. You do.
The police will soon discover much darker recordings on the memory sticks. For now, they charge Gary Hilton with kidnapping in the Meredith Emerson case. It remains to be seen if additional charges will follow.
He's bound to have gotten the
Police
death
transport
sentence,
Hilton to
hasn't
the
he?
Union County
If it's still
Jail in
available, that
Georgia.
is.
His attitude has improved, but his willingness to answer questions about Meredith's whereabouts has not.
You guys are pissed at me, so hey, I ain't... You get the cops pissed off, man. You must be fast.
All right, now you ain't gonna do nothing squirrely on
Oh,
this, right?
yeah, like I can with you. Sure. He's sitting there with one gun in the holster and the other in his seat. I mean, Jesus Christ. He's gonna turn around and cap me. I am okay? Totally. I was trying to figure out who I was gonna give my
look at
dog
the
to
doggy.
before I turned myself in. I saw the paper. I caught the paper.
Oh.
I saw the paper. I saw that. I saw it was on the front page of the paper. You know.
It didn't seem like you were going to turn yourself in.
Well, hey, you know something? I'm making statements and I ain't making no statements.
But Hilton's position on answering questions will soon shift, and agents with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation will finally get a deep look into one of the most sinister minds they've ever come in contact with. In hours of interviews, they'll be...
This is just the ones he's been caught for. There is no way in hell this guy decided to start doing all of this when he reached, what, 60-odd? In his 60s or something? There is no way that he just started doing it then. As you're saying, Water Dragon, yeah. You know, it normally does happen with certain things. You know, it starts with animals, which seems to be the most common one. Because that, again, that's why you had like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, all of those. They all started doing that. How was that? Yeah, straight away. Should have been done. Because they know who he is. They know how people are after him. Bang, you've done this.
Begin to piece together what happened to Meredith that day on Blood Mountain. And what they hear from Gary Hilton changes everything.
Since I was 4 years old, my earliest thoughts were...
Oh, there we go.
I said, you know something, no one's even missed you. And she said, boy, I'd be mad if once you let me go, and I came back and my boyfriend said, have you been gone? I spent 3 days with her. We had long talks about everything. I gave her a book to read.
Oh my
The Lone
God.
Ranger. And the Lone Ranger would come galloping into town. They would always say,
Who was that masked man?
Yeah, who was that masked man? Okay, that's what I do to society.
Hilton admits that some of what is driving him to talk is the kidnapping charge, which he believes will likely put him away for the rest of his life.
He's just sitting there nonchalant.
And it was going to stick. The evidence was good. Right out of the dumpster. It was just a smoking gun. They had me.
The investigators take a low-pressure approach to the interviews, which gives Hilton all the room he needs to expand on every topic he can think of, including his history of conflicts with the other dog owners he meets while hiking.
The average dog owner doesn't know jack about dogs. The average animal control officer doesn't know jack about dogs. They anthropomorphize. That means assigning human qualities to something. Anthropomorphic. Okay? And they assign human qualities to dogs. And what that means is that they want dogs to be like humans, which is be nice and get along. Well, that's not the way it is in the dog world. Because when dogs talk to each other, you know, they quite often revert back to the wolf
think he was in his
world.
60s. I'll have a look now.
More incredibly savage and brutal than you can
Gary
ever
Hilton.
imagine. Humans don't understand that in the dog world or the wolf world, there are no assault and battery laws. There are no murder laws. And quite often, there is no fear. Okay,
He was
imagine such a
52
world
when he was caught.
where there's no murder laws.
Before Hilton can go too deeply into his fantasy of a world without laws, he explains how to handle confrontations with dogs and their owners.
My goal in a stick fight with a human or a dog is not to make contact
52, yeah.
with a dog. A successful stick fight is preventative. To me, is shaping it with a stick and not making contact. Because it takes it to a whole other level when you make, especially with a human being. You hit a human being with a stick, regardless of the situation, it's probably going to ruin your day, buddy. And it may not go your way either, even though it always has. I've had the police call on me 30 times at least, and no exaggeration.
I'll move myself down here for now.
Hilton's history with the police is well documented, and not all of it concerns other dogs. He has a history of theft, telephone fraud, arson, and was even accused at one point of attempting to murder his own stepfather. His conflicts with the law haven't settled in recent years, as demonstrated by police dash cams and his own home videos.
What do you have on your hands there? Don't ask me, man. He's about to take off. Sir, okay, look. I've been nothing but respectful for you, but if you're gonna continue to create a problem, we can take it to the next level.
Putting out leaflet soliciting? Yes. You're the lawman, you are the law. I'm going to check it out, and if it ain't the law and you're wrong,
you come talk to me.
I'm not talking to nobody. I'm filing and I'm suing because you're interrupting my work.
Go right ahead.
But it's one particular encounter with the
Bloody
cops that
hell.
catches the public's attention after his arrest.
You bumped into a Cherokee County deputy up on some private hunting property back in, it was October or something, and that was widely publicized.
I've got maps of the area, and I was headed to Cohutta, going from Lawrenceville.
I bring the
but I'm
chat
out
down
of
by me.
Okay. And I camped out here 20 years ago. I can show you, I got a WMA map right now.
You may have 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It probably was okay.
When the footage comes out, cops working the Cheryl Dunlap case notice the cap Hilton is wearing. It bears a striking resemblance to the one in the ATM footage from Leon County.
You know, I just wanted a place to camp because I'm on my way to Cohutta. I'm leaving. As a matter of fact, I'm getting my maps together. I got to bought some maps right now.
Did you hear, did he get on tape my joke about deer hunters?
Yeah.
What's the 3 reasons the deer hunter goes into? Yeah. I made that up. I'm a comedian, too.
Yeah, he thinks he's it,
But I
like,
have a
doesn't
little
he?
joke about these southern outdoorsmen. They come out in the woods for 3 reasons. One is to get drunk.
Ah, no,
The
Kel.
other is to poach, and the
I
other
don't know
is
where to put
change the oil
myself.
in their truck. I'm sorry. I just stopped it.
I'll
Though Hilton
shrink
has
myself.
suspicious items
Put
in his
myself by a year or
possession.
something.
Oh, I do have an expanded command lane right there. Don't get nervous. I won't get out of the truck without it, man.
The deputy lets him go on his way, unaware that he's releasing a vicious predator
Oh, yeah, so
back into the wild.
Is it almost?
with what we've seen so far with this guy, he's literally going on and he's saying, oh yeah, I made this joke up, blah, blah, blah. And with him being 52, and the way he's literally laughing and joking in this scene by here with him, it's literally, guarantee you, and with him saying that he was 4 years old, that, you know, my first memory of death was when I was 4 years of age, you could tell he did it to animals. You know, he did stuff like that. You can just see it. Yeah, we don't need, there we go. I'll put myself up by you.
It's like a little acting on your behalf to, I don't know, kind of steer this law enforcement
the guy's
officer
just
away
nuts.
from you, or
Well, with him, no. I was being perfectly candid with him.
Hilton says that certain police officers will immediately recognize when they're dealing with a pro.
You and I were talking earlier, and you described yourself as a pro. And I mean, in talking about that, I as a police officer, when you and I encounter one another,
this is mad.
I know what you mean, but how do you define that? As far as how are you a pro?
I'm a pro in that I'm not just styling. You see, the average civilian, their entire life is a style. Nothing is real. They're talking the talk and they're not walking the walk. And they're styling. And that's why you see posers. That's my word. Perfectly precious posers. That's what yuppies are.
Hey, I love you. Mr. Hilton, take care. Be safe.
There's a large number of police officers that are highly...
I wonder if that copper got, not done, but he was reprimanded because he literally let him go. You know?
...experienced.
Right.
And that they are pros.
Right.
And they recognize a pro when they see a pro.
Right.
And I'm a pro.
This wouldn't be the last time Hilton would manage to keep his true nature hidden from law enforcement in the closing months of 2007. On November 17th, only 2 weeks before Cheryl Dunlap went missing, a Forest Service ranger spoke to him near a campsite in Leon County.
From what he told me, he was returning to his campsite, and he was walking along the road. He had a dog and a walking stick.
The ranger runs the tag on his white Chevy Astro parked back at the campsite.
Who did the van come back to?
It came back to Gary Michael Hilton.
It will soon come to light that Hilton already had blood on his hands before speaking to these officers. Nonetheless, he's in custody now, and then a series of audio and video interviews with the GBI, he will finally reveal the full story behind what happened New Year's Day on Blood Mountain.
But anyway, it's a good place to hunt in that you have a huge selection. But it's a bad place to hunt in that you
because they have a lot of people.
So the way you would do it, would be to lurk in a blind, so to speak, off the trail, observe with binoculars, and lurk. But I didn't do that either because I like to hike.
What I'd like to know is how accomplished of a hiker are you?
Oh.
I mean, you've been to.
I'm going to tell you something. I want to tell you something. I've never met anyone, ever, and people are full of on this too, but I've never met anyone anywhere, any way, that has the time in the woods and the time on the trail that I have. I've never worked full-time anyway in my life, except for the U.S. Army.
Hilton was enlisted in the Army as a young man before being discharged for
well,
demonstrating
Cassandra, you're saying that. He literally just said he was in the U.S. Army.
The darkness to come.
Did you know Meredith Emerson before the other day? No. Okay. At what time or when did you first become aware of her, or when did you first see her?
On the mountain, at the intersection of the Herbert Reef Connector Trail and the AG, at that intersection.
How did you strike up a conversation with her or whatever?
Dogs, you know, people that have dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs are going to meet. And anytime I encounter someone with a loose dog specifically, which both of ours were, a larger dog, I immediately determine the sex of the dog because I have a male, and I don't allow my dog to meet adult males.
So you asked her what sex her dog was?
Or, yeah, that kind of thing. And she stopped at that location to eat and eat some trail mix and to give her dog water.
After a brief exchange, the two continued hiking, and the 24-year-old athlete quickly put distance between herself and Hilton. But soon enough, Meredith would come back down the trail, and this time, Hilton would be ready.
Did you form an opinion at that point, or did you form an idea at that point that you wanted to abduct her at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely nuts.
Really by nothing but, well, the desire to obtain her card.
That was the sole purpose? He wanted her card number.
Yeah, and rather than pick a guy who would, or a couple, with a guy who might really fight, you know, because if you want a card and PIN number and the guy fights and you got to kill him, well, where you at? You know? So I felt it would be, I knew it would be easier to establish control over a female, any female, than it would a male. It's not that I couldn't whip a male, but once you whip him, you might be left holding an empty bag.
Hilton's aside about his ability to take on a man is perhaps unsurprising given his many thoughts about masculinity and the differences between the genders.
Bloody hell. What I want you to do as an adult is to play house, okay, and to have children. How many 9-year-old boys, now don't get me wrong, I understand that for many men having children is the greatest thing in their life, but nevertheless, how many 9-year-old boys have you known that have said, oh, you know, I don't want to be a soldier or a pilot or astronaut, I want to grow up and have a family. You may look at any man's home. It ain't a man's home. It's a woman's home. And what is this man thing? Having a nice lawn. Oh, Jesus Christ, give me a break. Out there cutting grass and digging in the dirt like a animal.
Wow. According to Gary, it all comes down to an imbalance of power.
He's all with it, isn't he?
Dislike, or I wouldn't call it hatred, but almost, for women is that they have all the advantages. And that's how they get men to do what they want them to do.
Oh, yeah.
Always. Yeah. Either you do what I want, or in the end, I'm going to give it to someone else. For women to threaten to give it away, that's what I mean. And for them to let you know that they could give it away, and they have given it away, increases the value of it. However, there's marketing. But a sophisticated woman understands that to threaten to give it away increases the value, and actually giving it away to someone else decreases the value. And some women aren't smart enough to know the difference, and they
sarcasm. Yeah, he's not a schizo. He's not a schizophrenic.
Doubt on his narrative that he only confronted Meredith for her bank cards. It's also the fact that no money has been withdrawn from her account. But as the investigators soon learn,
the guy is a full-blown narcissist as well.
To be trifled with.
The act occurred, the demand occurred at the point where the water bottles and baton were found in Lacey Dog Street. That's where the demand occurred.
Okay, and by demand, what do you say? What did you say?
Credit cards and PIN number.
Okay, and when you did that, and when you said that, did you produce the baton, or
no.
what did you produce?
A knife, bayonet. The bayonet is probably still up there. I lost control of both. She fought.
Bloody hell.
And as I read in the paper, she's a martial artist. I read in the paper she practiced martial arts.
Okay.
And she fought. And she grabbed the knife.
Okay.
I lost control of the knife. Okay. And she grabbed the knife blade and very slightly cut her hand on the webbing between her thumb and forefinger. I was not aware of that till later on, and I said, where'd you get that cut at? She said, when I grabbed the knife.
Okay.
But she grabbed the knife and fought.
Okay.
And then I produced the baton.
Okay.
She fought that, and I lost control.
Bloody hell.
And I'm good, too.
Go on, girl.
I think it was you, probably. One of the GBIs said that little 120-pound girl about probably close to whip your. Well, she about did.
But Gary can't admit that he was in any real trouble. Not to the investigators, and perhaps not even to himself.
Yeah, the guy's not disorganized one bit.
It was not I mean, I'm better than that. I am. But I found out she was a black belt, too, which don't mean. Again, they're styling these black belts. They're styling. They're not fighters. They're learning to do some little. But on the other hand, doing that.
So he's saying, "Oh, it's nothing." But thing is, though, he admitted himself she was getting the upper hand. Literally, he had to use weapons. He couldn't use his own hands against her.
That kind of thing does increase your coordination, your hand-eye, etc., and it gets you more used to hand-to-hand combat as opposed to an untrained person, even though they're not really fighters, and she didn't do no. It's just that she was real quick with her hands and had no hesitation about grabbing weapons and everything. And not only that, she was hard to subdue. Fought like hell, man. Fought, and then once I gained control over her and got her 10 to 15 feet away from the trail on that little side trail I told you about, she started fighting again.
But what Gary characterizes as a fight sounds more like a merciless beating.
I had to hand fight her. And that's where I got this hand. I probably have multiple fractures in my right hand now.
Okay.
However, I'm not in pain, and I don't think any of them are displaced. I had to hand fight her, and I still couldn't get control of her. She would
there we go.
feign or pretend that I was in control and then start fighting again.
Right.
So I had to hit her a number of times.
Now you hit her every time with your right hand, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are straight in punches.
In the face, or?
Yeah, or the head.
Okay.
As to what extent she was injured, her two eyes were somewhat blackened. She may or may not have a fractured nose.
It sounds like she literally fought till the death. Or till the end.
She was not in any pain other than, afterwards, she was not in any pain other than a headache I offered her and gave her.
You gave her the headache, mate.
Hilton tells the investigators that once they were safely off the trail, he was able to finally subdue her.
So I got control of her again, quieted her down, got control of her again, and I kept her moving down that close trail around the corner of the mountain.
He doesn't sound that great, to be honest with you.
At that point, I produced like a duck tie. It's like handcuffs that police use.
Zip tie?
Zip tie, yeah, except these were just commercial zip ties, 18-inch zip ties.
You remember what color they were?
Yeah, black. They're not there anymore. You'll probably find them in the dumpster out of the way, probably.
Yeah. Did you have a rubber band around them?
Yeah.
Okay, we did find one up there.
I don't know. Oh, you did?
Absolutely
nuts. So I
nuts.
zip tied her to a tree, and I knew that I had to go and clean the crime scene.
Hilton's use of zip ties in Meredith's abduction draws another connection to the Cheryl Dunlap case. Investigators searching several of Hilton's Leon County campsites find a number of items he left behind, and zip ties are prominently among them. But it's something else that Hilton leaves on Blood Mountain that will make the connection undeniable.
Told her to be quiet and stay.
Okay.
And went back to clean the crime scene, but it had already been found.
Okay, by that time it had already been found?
I saw there were three hikers that had found the thing, and they were no longer there.
Okay.
And they were headed down slope, and they were looking...
Were you crouching behind a rock at that point?
Looking at them? Then looking at them, and then I laid down flat in the trail above them. Because if a trail is cut into a slope and someone's below, if you lay in the flat, you're depilated or insulated, so to speak. And I laid down in the trail at that point, and the stuff was gone.
Among the items Hilton lost on the mountain were his expanding police baton, Meredith's leash, and water.
He does seem to be like he's saying with the, oh yes, I'm all of this, I can beat anyone. Yeah, okay. Literally, put him in a cage. He'll get instant karma.
Bottles, and the dagger-like knife he calls a bayonet. When investigators with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement compare the blade of the bayonet to the hole in Cheryl Dunlap's tire, any doubt is put to rest. It's an exact match.
If I'd been back to the crime scene just a few minutes sooner, just several minutes sooner, I would have beat those people that found the bat, and I would have picked it up. But as it was, I had to fight her twice, and bring her all the way around the corner of the mountain, and then secure her to a tree, in spite of her protestations, and then go back for it. So she caught me fair and square. Yeah.
One thing I didn't ask you about this, since you're on that point, one thing I didn't ask you about, did you have to put something to keep her quiet, a gag, so to speak, or anything like that? No. Was she unconscious at that point?
Never.
Well, I'm wondering why she wasn't yelling when you zip tied her to a tree, and when you went back to clean the crime scene, is what I'm getting at.
There comes a point they fight, and then they.
So many bloody notifications from my dog running in the garden, man.
I reassure them. That it's going to be okay, but just quit fighting, or you're going to get hurt. I tell them, listen, honey, I'm going to spend life in prison just because you said no.
Gary has a great many ideas about how a victim should behave under Meredith's circumstances.
But the advice to people is to engage your abductor and to make yourself a person to them, and not have them
this
think
guy,
of you
man.
as an object. To engage them, to tell them your name, to tell them about yourself, tell them about your family, tell them about tell your abductor that, tell them what you study, what your dreams and hopes and plans and schemes are, and try to engage them and make yourself a person rather than an object, because the abductor is psychopathic. He's looking at you in a human way. You want to make yourself a human.
He's literally just explaining, like, oh yeah, they tell you. It's like, people are, the cops are the one, well, yeah, we know about this. We're told about this. And he's like, oh, he's just saying all this shit to try and make himself sound intelligent. That's all he's doing it. Well, they gotta stop being this. I'm better than them. And exactly saying in chat, yeah. He's trying to be like, oh, reassure him, I do that. Nah, mate. He thinks he's like on a Hannibal Lecter level of his intelligence, but it's not.
No, it was always me. It was always me engaging them. First thing I ask him is, what kind of music you like? What's your favorite song?
Melby, you know what? It actually does sound and feel like he's doing that.
And talk to him. It calms him down. It calms him down. But none of them ever did that to me.
Hilton tells the investigators that he would act much differently if put in that position.
She never once told me, hey, my name is Meredith. I mean, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be pitching a guy like hell. They don't even pitch me. Like,
oh my God.
I don't say a word, just, I'd be saying, hey,
full of it.
Hey, no sweat. Listen, I'll tell them you had me blindfolded all the time. I didn't even see you. Nothing.
The guy's full of it, man. It's nuts.
Hey, I'm not even going to report this. Hey, just cut me loose, cut me loose as soon as you can. If I can get back before big alarms raised, I'll never even report. I'd be pitching the whole damn time.
Meredith, who wasn't fortunate enough to have Hilton's instructions on how to be a victim, is subdued by other means.
What did you do at that point?
Went back to her and cut her loose. And she was not tied at all, except I put a loop around her neck.
Oh, what kind of loop?
Just a nylon cord, 300-pound test. Just wasn't even tied. It was like a loop.
I put a loop line around her neck, and just like a leash, like a dog's leash, and that's the only way she was secured, okay? And I told her that I had a gun, and that, I was going to shoot her. Now, I didn't have a gun, but I had a BB pistol that looked like a gun, and I was going to shoot her down, and, she took off running or something, because, you got to do that, because most girls could probably outrun me.
Bloody hell.
And,
this guy, he's full of it.
From then on, she totally cooperated. We traversed the Blood Mountain through the stick stuff, down through the drainage, up. She was totally cooperative with me and everything.
Let me ask you this. At this point, was her hands free?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have those zip tied?
No,
you just had the new
yes, and I told her I had a pistol, which I did, but I told her I had a firearm, and that I would shoot her. By that time, and from that time on, she was compliant, totally compliant.
Okay.
And I was solicitous of her behavior, of her condition, and of her comfort from then on also.
Okay.
My intent was not to torture.
Yeah, he's trying to make himself look more intelligent to everyone, especially to the cops.
What he calls the demand.
Because it seems to be that when we're seeing him in the room, his story's a little bit different than the other one when we're hearing it out in the open somewhere.
I told her, well, I was going to have to get her cards and PIN number out of the car, which was in her purse, under the seat.
Let me back up. Did she tell you where her purse and PIN or cards were?
Yeah.
Okay. And she told you where her cards were at that point? Or?
Yeah. She told me incorrectly, but it was just under the wrong seat. She said under the driver's seat. It was actually under the passenger seat.
Okay.
Hilton says he approached the parking lot cautiously, knowing there was a chance that the hikers above had called the police.
Yeah.
When he arrives,
100%
however,
Cassandra.
the coast is clear, and he moves his van next to her car.
So I walked her next to her car, opened the side door of my van, and put her in my
TED
van.
Talk.
And then took
This is what I do, folks. Yeah, you want to do this.
Put her in my van and laid her down.
You want to engage them. You want them to tell people what your name is. Yeah, TED Talk. My name's Gary Hilton, and welcome to my TED Talk.
I had 2 lengths of chain
padlock to the seat mounting, the front seat mountings. One chain padlock, in other words, the seat mount.
That's what it sounds like, Melby.
To the car. So both those chains were
He's had a bit of time to talk
by
now, a
one
bit of
end
time to
the
think.
seat mounting.
What did she say to you? Did she say anything at that point?
She said they told me not to get in the van, not getting in the, or in a vehicle or so. I said get in. So she did. And then I determined from her where her purse was, which was under the passenger.
Oh, the Zodiac, yeah.
Okay.
He
Did you
thrived
force her
on
into the van, or
everything,
did you-
which it seems to be that this guy is exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to be as infamous and, you know, obviously all of that like the Zodiac Killer. You know, look at what he did. You know, he rang him up and, you know, the guy in the year think, oh, I love the notoriety, yes. And again, going back to The Exorcist, you know, the Zodiac Killer said that The Exorcist is the greatest comedy ever. And it was like all based on society and all that, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, you know, both of the newspapers, the front pages, like, oh, I want to be here, or I will take out the school bus and all this kind of stuff. Absolutely nuts.
Did she cooperate at that point?
No, she protested. But
I think the Zodiac Killer is one of the best whodunits ever.
There was no physical force at any time after that.
Okay.
Same as Jack the Ripper.
On the mountain.
Oh, okay. So she protested and said...
they told me not to get in a vehicle. I said, get in the damn thing.
And she went in?
Oh, he's not on their level at all.
Gary says that after Meredith was secured by chains in his van, he put her dog Ella in her car before heading to nearby Blairsville with the intention of finding an ATM. But soon, Gary says he had a change of heart.
Got several miles away as we were driving away, and she's still voicing concern about her dog. I wanted her to be calm and, you know, could be, and I knew she was anxious about her dog.
Oh, lovely
so
dog.
I said, well, do you want me to go back and get your dog? She said yes. So I turned around, went back, and got her dog.
Of all the details Gary has given thus far, this act of kindness is perhaps the hardest to believe. And yet the investigators know that it must be at least partially true, because Ella was finally found in Cumming, nearly 50 miles south of Blood Mountain. Then again, Gary appears to have a compassion for dogs that doesn't extend to humans.
People are enculturated and programmed to only believe that life is valid if they're doing it with others. So the problem with these poor loners, these sociopaths, is they're so programmed like that in spite of themselves, they don't know themselves. They don't understand that there's no hope for them. They don't understand. They don't understand
BTK,
that they're
yeah.
a round peg in a square hole and that they're never going to fit in. They don't understand that there's no way in the world that they are going to get real satisfaction out of a human relationship. I didn't understand myself until 21. Actually, when I got a dog. And all of a sudden I was no longer alone, and I didn't have that wrenching sense of loneliness and being alone, but yet there would be no salvation in the company of others. You're alone, your life is empty, alone, lonely, but there's no salvation or satisfaction in the company of others. It's a terrible, I see many, those are the worst kind of people. They're tragically unhappy.
Of course, Gary's thoughts on the errors of humanity go well beyond sociopaths like himself.
And there's a psychiatric school of thought that says existential anxiety is responsible for most of human neurosis. Yeah. Because we're the only...
That bothered you back then?
Since I was 4 years old, my earliest thoughts were of death and that I was going to die.
Really?
When I was 4 years old, I could place it because of the situation I was in when I thought it. And when I was 4 years old, I can remember looking at my hand and pondering the fact that this hand one day will be a skeleton. Yeah, when I was 4 years old.
What was the situation, if you don't mind me asking?
No, it was an intellectual thought. It was the awareness of my future non-being. Okay. The humans are the only animal that I know of that really has to cope with it, although it's really hard to tell. But it's a tremendous psychic load. It's the knowledge of our future non-being or the inevitability of our death is the thing that shapes our entire life.
Rather than lure Hilton back to the point, the investigators appeal to his ego.
All your travels and camping and stuff, you get by yourself, you get a lot of time to to think. And
That's the thing. People
gain a lot of insight, don't they?
Lawyers and everyone else ask me constantly, how come you're so seemingly intelligent? Are you well-read? Are you well-educated? You're right. You hit it right on the head. That's very perceptive of you. The reason I'm so seemingly intelligent is that I, alone amongst almost anyone, including you dudes, have time to actually stop and think about things. You don't have time to stop and think about things. You are so busy distracting yourself because you're running.
Charlie was going absolutely berserk.
Situation, which is you're gonna die, and you are so busy just frantically, desperately distracting yourself with every kind of thing.
All right, sarcasm. I need to put that on my list now.
Now again, I'm not judging you. I mean, you're just human beings. That's all you are. You're just human beings, and God bless you.
Gary says that his time in the woods has given shape to his character.
You got time to think.
42 pages. That's
one of my
nuts.
personalities. I'm a philosopher, I'm a soldier, I'm a scientist, and I'm an artist. And those are all distinct personality types that represent distinctly different things. And I'm all of them.
What's your artistic side?
How mad would that be, though, sarcasm?
Well, by artist, I mean truly in the sense of being an artist, in that you see everything in terms of not the linear, but the impression of it, and so forth. And as far as a medium goes, I'm an artist that people ask me, I tell them I'm an artist, and they say, well, what's your medium? Are you a sculptor or a drawer? No, my art is my life, and my art is weird. No.
That's a very good question, Water Dragon.
My art is my life, and my art is weird.
I'm actually buying into this.
Of course, it's true. It's all true. It's true. It's real. Everything I'm telling you is true. Everything I'm telling you is real. It exists. It's true.
Hilton tells them that he even made the decision to yank some of his teeth out for the purpose of his art. And of course, to stand out even more from the rest of society.
They're grinning idiots. I call it a dental display. Is what I call it.
What?
It's
Why?
Like chimpanzees and other apes, they do a genital display. You ever see a chimpanzee in a zoo like that? That's a genital display. Well, they do a dental display. That's why I love my teeth. These are both artistic, philosophical statements, and they're practical too. If someone's with me, I'll go, "You're pretty." Like that. It scares out of any damn deal, but they know I'm for real. I ain't no yuppie. See, I
look at him.
I got my fighting teeth in. And I present this fantastical spectacle.
He's loving this, isn't he?
To people.
You can see he's absolutely loving all of this. And with the police, and he's like, oh, yeah. Tony, exactly, he is. He's like, oh, look what I've done. I got my fighting teeth in. It's like, come on. It's like, dude. Again, this is why he said he never went up against any man, because he knows for a fact a man would beat him. This is why he did it.
But I understand. They can't understand it because it's so fantastical. It's kind of like the Lone Ranger. And the Lone Ranger would come galloping into town. There would be all the schmuck townspeople, right? And here the Lone Ranger would be wearing this mask, a skin-tight outfit, a really elaborate two-gun rig mounted with silver with chrome pistols, and just a theatrical outfit. He'd be mounted on this beautiful Palomino. He'd have this...
Well, sarcasm was saying that regarding, obviously, if Jack the Ripper was around today. What you need to remember is London is the most surveilled city in the entire world. It's something stupid, like I think it's like 4 to 5 cameras per every street, which is insane. And I really do think, I'd say this day and age, with DNA, I think that's probably how they would get him. And again, because he always had, supposedly the hat and the cloak and all this kind of stuff to cover his face, if he knew where the CCTVs are as well, because a lot of them are out in plain sight. And again, doorbells, people with security cameras, they've all got in now, dash cams, you name it. I think they'd be just a little bit too hard for him to do at this day and age, especially for someone like what he did. But this day and age, it wouldn't surprise me if there is, like say, obviously that 42 pages thing. Like this by here, what you were saying about it. Pages unidentified, you got all of these. It's very well, I would say, that we're probably not knowing that there's probably one going around now. who is doing absolute insane stuff. You know? And again, they may think like they're the best in the world, like say, like this guy does. Like, oh, this is what I do. I talk to the people. Why aren't they pitching me? I pitch them instead. The guy just loves talking, and he is getting his rocks off 100%. Literally. Yeah, Tony, he is. He's like he's performing for him. He's loving it.
You know what I'm talking about? And if the Lone Ranger would ride out again, what would they always say about the Lone Ranger? You don't remember. They would always say,
Who was that masked man?
Yeah, who was that masked man? Okay, that's what I do to society.
Though many of his home videos show Gary alone with Dandy,
he literally
some of them
thinks
do show
he's
him
it.
interacting with others, such as this Papa John's manager who seemed less than impressed with Hilton's version of the mysterious stranger.
You tell these guys to quit terror driving. You tell them not to drive more than 5 miles an hour above the limit. You tell them to keep at least a vehicle length, at least, and it should be one vehicle for every 10 miles an hour.
If this is Hilton affecting society at large like the Lone Ranger, one can only imagine the impression he made on Meredith Emerson. But while the 24-year-old may have no longer physically resisted Hilton after Blood Mountain...
Oh, sarcasm. I seriously do believe he was the king or the queen's doctor. I really do think so.
Of human beings, and you really have to, actually, to preserve your scalp, for that matter. You have to make broad judgments about groups of human beings, but always understanding that individual human beings, the end is rarely simple. It rarely is.
The individual Hilton abducted on that mountain still has some surprises in store. And when Hilton prepares to drain Meredith's bank account like he did Cheryl's, he realizes it won't be quite so easy.
Went to the Appalachian Bank, attempted to run the cards.
And they didn't work?
Didn't work. I parked across the street.
How many cards did you use?
I had 3, but I'm really not sure because she had me run them so many times that I'm not, she had me run them in Blairsville, and then I went to Gainesville, then I went to Canton. Well, I tried multiple times. Right. Card wouldn't work. It was either
he loves talking. He loves it.
Or unauthorized, one or the other. So I came back, went back to the van. I said, honey, no go. She danced me around with 2 more PIN numbers. Well, I think I did this, or I just changed it over, and I'm not sure, and this and that, and I changed it, and blah, 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 blah. Go try it again. It'll work. This number, give me another 2 numbers. Not working, huh? You might as well just give it up. I don't know what the purpose of this, etc.
Meredith convinces Hilton that he may need to try at another bank.
4 or 5 times she kept trying to convince you that it would work?
She did convince me. Right. She ran me back. I'd go try it like an idiot.
So with this here, going back and telling her it's going to work, and, she is literally doing what he said that she said she didn't try to do. Oh, no one pitched me. No one would tell me things. She's literally trying to make her go and try it. Go and try it. You never know. Because that is literally trying to get help. And he's like, oh, he does seem to be the type of person who thinks he's intelligent, but he's not. This is what is starting to sound like now to me. Because he's talking about all of this stuff. He's like, oh, yeah, we don't know. Oh, I ran this 3 or 5 times. And he just kept going to different places. Here in the UK, I'm not too sure what it's like in the States. But if you enter a PIN number 3 times and it's wrong, the card can stay in the machine. I'm not sure what it's like over in the States, though.
I'm, like some eternal optimist. I had to go out of the van, walk the 100 yards or wherever to it, run it, come back. She'd give me some other story, or another card. Right. I got 3 of them to work with. Right. I don't know why the reason for all this was. I told her later, I said, I'm not even going to ask you why. It's just that I'll never understand what the purpose of you've been doing this for.
It may be that Meredith's strategy was twofold. 1, as long as he didn't have access to her accounts, her life remained valuable to Hilton. 2, every failed ATM transaction left a digital footprint.
Exactly, Walter. Yeah, Walter.
Line to their location.
They ain't going to stop you. They're going to laugh and joke with you.
Did you attempt to conceal your face in any way?
Yes, I did conceal my face.
How did you conceal your face?
Held a towel over my face.
It's another chilling echo to the Cheryl Dunlap case in Florida. The only question is whether Meredith's resistance would allow her to escape Cheryl's grisly fate.
Could be, no. That's what it seems to be like.
Attempts down in Gainesville. Which way did you go?
Back to Dahlonega.
Okay.
Now it's too late, and I've had it. I'm like in the shape I am now. You know, with the MS, some days I can't get out of bed, and then some days I'm good for a few hours, and my time was up. Okay. As far as being able to function.
So, he's saying he has MS and that he can overpower anyone. He's now saying that he can't do certain things every day because obviously multiple sclerosis. Obviously, it is a very debilitating disease, and him going on saying this, and it's like, oh no, I can't do this. We shouldn't be doing this, and I can only do it some days. So, was this on a good day for you? You know, is this why she, Meredith got the better of you? You know, there's so many holes.
Even thing. And I started north to with the object of getting a campsite somewhere.
Gary says they found a place to camp that first night in Dahlonega, Georgia, but not before a close call nearly put a quick end to his plans.
And the snow was coming in at higher elevations, and it was accumulating rapidly. And there was probably 2 inches on the ground on the road very quickly. And I was losing traction and control. And then I came around a curve, and the car had sort of slid off the road, and there was a sheriff's deputy there, a car with his blue light, and turned around and went back down just right past the sheriff's deputy again. Okay. She saw the blue light and everything, and was only loosely secured.
Having eluded law enforcement, Hilton made camp with his hostage.
Camp there, I gave her the best bag. I gave her the mattress that didn't leak. I got a +5 degree bag. I had 5 bags with me, but, you know, each dog got a bag. Each dog got a 20 degree bag.
Where did you camp? In the van or out?
Yeah, she helped me offload the van. Okay. I just unchanged. She was free after. She was only secured while we were moving. She was not tied up. And while we were asleep, I would tie a long length of nylon cord around her ankles, quadruple knotted, and then quadruple knotted at an anchor point in the van. That was simply to keep her from jumping up and taking off while I was asleep.
Now, I got to ask you this. Was there any sexual activity between you two?
No.
And keep in mind now, we will be able to find out, but I'm asking you now if it's accurate or not. Was there any sexual activity between the two of you?
Yeah.
There you go. So first says no.
One time, first night. I told her, honey, it wasn't forcible, but of course it was unwanted. So right. But it wasn't forcible.
And the teenage behavior, yeah.
And I told her, honey, I told you I was going to let you go. You've run me around. You've run me all over.
Like say, Nia's now 14, my niece.
150 miles on my van. Oof. We still don't. You've lied to me.
My little weed fiend, as I call her.
And she did.
Hilton says that despite being abducted, beaten, and violated, Meredith was enjoying herself.
How?
She's not having a bad time.
Right.
She's
my
been
God.
Yeah. She wasn't in mental distress other than any kind of real.
He's trying to justify himself now. It's absolutely insane, this dude is.
Everything else.
It's hard to know if this is delusion talking or simply another reflection of Hilton's disdain for women.
I mean, the last piece of I had,
what a dickhead,
was in '89. Was in January of '89, and I never.
You kind of dropped out of the game there.
I was never so happy after I did that. Oh yeah. Well, once you stop getting led around by the, and we all are, all of us are. That's right. That's right. That's why we become less than men. That's why we start doing a woman's agenda. Well, I'm going to tell you something, and you take it from me.
Really?
No, you know what you're being fooled by? You're all being fooled. You're being fooled by a woman's instinct, not her free will.
Oh,
her
my
instinct
God.
is that of nurturing. That's because she's instinctually, she raises the kids. And you're being fooled by her nurturing instinct, and she has a soft spot for kids and small furry animals. But I'm going to tell you something. You take it to the bank, pal, and you take it from a guy that begged professionally for over 20 years. The sex that is the most avaricious, accumulative, greedy, and heartless is women.
Hilton seems to detect no irony,
Bloody
delivering this
hell.
sermon on women before returning to the story of how he kidnapped
exactly.
one.
I determined the next day that I would go to Canton. And one reason I headed in that direction is that I had a person I knew that I thought, you know, a plan
The guy
B
is
would
just
be to
full
try
of
to get
shit,
some
isn't
money
he?
from her, and she was in that direction. I don't have any money. I had $45 on me and spent $30 of my last $45 on gas, so I had no gas, no money. But anyway, that's one reason I headed in Canton. So I could go on to Cartersville if necessary and try to get some money.
Who is this person that you were going to get money from? If
the person I was calling from the gas station were in Cumming where the clothes were found. That's the call I was making. She refused me and hung up.
With Meredith
So
thwarting
who
his
was
attempts
it?
to steal from her, Hilton says he reached out to a man he used to work for.
Let me ask you this. I know that
Night,
you made
Di.
a phone call from
Thanks for joining us and
Marble
coming
Hill
along.
also, at one point.
You mean from a huddle house?
Right.
That was to my employer, John Tabor, to get to beg my old job back.
Right.
By the time Hilton called Tabor, early descriptions of the man seen with Meredith on Blood Mountain were already circulating through the media. Tabor not only identifies
Absolutely
Hilton
insane,
to the
isn't
police,
it?
he tells Hilton he'll leave a check for him at his office. Police stake out the location, but Hilton never shows.
We all, even guys like myself,
okay,
that are
okay.
just totally sociopathic.
But why would he even
we still
think of doing that?
some
Like, you
human
know,
beings
it's I don't get it.
Right. Even if we're not close to them, to trust them, even if it's a business associate. I called Tabor up and I asked him, I told him I needed money and I wanted to start working again for him. And I was really sincere in trying to start work again for him because I saw that this Robert wasn't getting it because I hadn't
The guy's just nuts, isn't he?
You know, I had gotten a dime. I had spent money on her. I had $45 to my name, and I'd done spent $30 of it driving all over North Georgia trying to work her ATM card on the bogus number she gave me. I've lost money on that deal. If Tabor had have said, instead of trying to entrap me, I mean, what's the use of that? I mean, really. Because if they knew who I am, they're going to catch me anyway. It's just, if Tabor had said, hey, Gary, they know it's you. Yeah, I know it's you. They're on to you. They're looking for you now. Because I wasn't in the paper that day. I joked about it with a girl. This was the second day or third day I'd had her, second or third day I'd had her, and she still wasn't in the paper. I said, you know something? No one's even
God, this dude in
She
there.
said, boy, I'd be mad if once you let me go, and I came back, and my boyfriend said, have you been gone? She said, we were laughing about it. Because nothing had appeared in the paper.
God.
Hilton manages to avoid the trap Tabor and police set for him, and at least according to him, spent a pleasant day with his victim out in the woods.
Went to Dawson Forest and camped there, and you know, I think we spent 2 nights there because we went hiking the next day. Yeah,
Seeing
we
what
went
he's
hiking,
saying with
yeah.
all of this,
We
it's
went
like,
hiking, yeah,
we were
spent-
laughing, we were joking. It's like, no. He's almost trying to make it out that even though that he did he did this. Oh, she was having a good time. She was having fun. No. This guy is so doolally. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Kel, it's completely, let's say, literally, as the sarcasm said, when you see people who do this, and when you just hear them talking about literally the horrible things that they've done, it's literally just another day for them. It's the way that they're talking, like I'm saying, they're laughing, they're joking. When he's saying about her, she was, we were having the whale of a time. Yeah, she was laughing because we said this or we said that. And it's like, what is wrong? I do like the TV series Mindhunter on Netflix, because obviously it's the story of how the FBI first started profiling all these serial killers. And, some of the things in the show obviously is two made-up characters sort of thing as well. But you can actually hear some of those recordings online. And the way that these people talk about it, it's just like any other day. It's like, we went day to day, we did this. Kemper, one of the best ones ever. He did it to you. He killed his grandmother, his grandfather, his mother, and all this. And the way he would talk about it, he's like, oh, yeah. And that guy is intelligent. He is intelligent. And just the way they talk about it, It's literally like, oh yeah, we do it like this. Everything's fine. We went about this. I didn't want anyone to suffer. That's one thing one of them said. I'll always remember. I didn't want them to suffer. But he made them suffer.
2 days, 2 nights there. And we were 11 degrees outside air temperature there. So I had stoves going. I have, stoves to use as a heater. Mm-hmm. And I had the van going from time to time. Mm-hmm. And keep warm. And we spent 2 nights there because we went hiking one day, the next day. We took both dogs and went hiking.
That could be actually, Melby. Nothing's happening.
We had a good time.
Okay. How did you keep her from running off while you were hiking?
No, I told her, remember 2 things. One, if you bust out through the woods, the pursuer has the advantage. Because the pursued has to break brush. If you bust out running down the road or anywhere else, I'll shoot you now. And I'm a good shot.
Night sarcasm.
Right,
thanks for popping along.
And
it does sound good, actually, doesn't it?
So she was not having a bad time at all.
See you next time, bud.
Enjoying herself on the hike, I could tell that. Commenting on how beautiful it was. We hiked for several hours along Shoal Creek.
Again, Hilton is insistent that Meredith was enjoying her time as the victim of a violent
Actually, folks,
kidnapping.
saying that,
a story that doesn't gain believability the more.
We still got nearly 25. Well, we got 25 minutes left of this, and it's currently coming up to 4 o'clock UK time. So I think we are going to stop right by there. We will come back to this tomorrow. And say it's actually getting really, really hot in here as well. As you can see, I'm a little bit red because of how hot it is in this room. It's ridiculous. But guys, thanks for coming along. It's been nice. 3 hours and 3.5 hours we've been streaming. I gotta get the aircon, unit or whatever thing in here. This big ass Black & Decker thing. I gotta get that working. But we will be back tomorrow, same time, 12:30, and we are going to continue with this, and we're also going to take a look at the piracy one. So, folks, until then, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming along. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and I will see you. Bye-bye, folks.